the kind of expectation they face today.
Well, they've got to win the game. Absolutely must win the game. Show a level of performance that is building on their domestic games from previous. But there's no doubt that Rangers are expected to go and win this game if they've got any aspirations to be title contenders, which of course we know they do. They must win the game. That's no disrespect to Livingston, but Livingston are sat at the bottom of the league, haven't won in a good number of league games, so make no doubt about it, this is all about can Rangers win the game. If we get to the 15-minute mark and they're not winning in the game, I'm sure the fans all around us will make their opinions heard. And that is what Livingston are trying to do. They're trying to keep the game slow, they're trying to break the game down, they're trying to make it difficult for Rangers to get any kind of flow, and they're trying to frustrate both Rangers and the supporters, and if they do that, they've done their job.
We're underway at Ibrox. I'll run you through the teams in a moment. The first thing we notice, that Richard noticed it in the warm-up, that Livingston have gone to back three, which includes Mo Silla. Rangers play the ball back inside their own box, and Jack Butland has to get there and knock the ball away to stop it from going from a corner. Sloppy start.
Yeah, and it's not what you want. You know, you put the ball right into the corner. I'm not just saying chip it to touch. It's not rugby we're playing, but you've now given Livingston a chance. They've got a chance. Look, they're motioning to get a long throw into the box in the first minute of the game.
Long throw to come from Samson Law. 20 yards from the corner flag on this near side. Gets the ball played back to him by Pittman, and Rangers get in there, played away up towards the halfway line, and Danilo who gets the start. There's the main man today. Here's Mo Silla, normally a midfield player, as I say, slotting into that right hand side of a back three. Sissoko plays the ball across to Finlayson. Finlayson back to Silla inside their own half. Finlayson sends the ball forward looking for Stevie May. Law then brings the ball down. Rangers have got a man down and in a little bit of pain as well. Referee allows play to continue. Silla almost hit the player on the ground, and Diamondi gets things moving. Referee is not interested in Rascan being down. Good sliding challenge coming in from May. He said it came off Diamondi. It didn't. It's out by the halfway line. Now Nico Rascan can get a little bit of attention. Perhaps it's all happening in this first couple of minutes. Richard Foster is alongside me, so excited he unplugged his microphone.
It's all happening. Yeah, I think he just lands on Rascan. You know, perfectly fair challenge for the ball and lands on Rascan, and the referee's right not to stop it. He's stood on his foot or his, you know, the lower part of his ankle, so it's not necessary that he stops the game. But I think all the players they kind of gave up. You see when Mo Silla's pass, he's expecting the referee to stop it, which will probably annoy David Martindale, because just go and play the game.
Rangers play the ball back inside their area again. It's Butland in orange, plays the ball up towards the halfway line, gathered by Danilo, out wide onto Antman, but the challenge to win the ball is an illegal one, and Rangers will get the free kick. That could have gone either way, certainly from where we were watching.
Yeah, it just looked like it was a challenge for the ball. Neither side claimed for a free kick, but it went to Rangers, and they've now got the ball.
Kenny Gassama pulls the ball back onto McCormack. Here comes Rascan in the middle of the field, opens up his right boot, pushes it out wide. Here's the opportunity for Rangers. Out wide on that far side is Antman. Antman tries to get the ball across, and it falls behind, and referee getting a little bit of grief from Stevie May and co. Just saying, what on earth was that, referee? There was not a problem as far as he was concerned. Scott Pittman continues that discussion. He didn't think there was much of an issue, but Stevie May having a little go.
Yeah, and I think those are the little fouls that everyone thinks are inconsequential, but they're just little momentum builders. You know, and Rangers get the free kick, they keep the ball, they go forward, they have an attack, and it just, like I say, it just keeps the momentum going. So as the opposition here, you're looking to try and get as many of those as you can just to disrupt the game in your favour.
3 minutes played. Rangers and Livingston head to head. BBC Radio Scotland. Livingston making 3 changes from last time out against Falkirk. They got a draw in that one. Pittman, Tate and Law all into the starting 11. Here come Rangers over the halfway line, out wide on the left hand side. Gassama starts to drop the ball inside. Diamondi opens his foot, plays it behind Rascan. Rascan comes together on this left hand side, moves back to the halfway line. There's Fernandez to Diamondi. Diamondi onto De Giga, and back to Fernandez as well. He's a hard man to miss, Emmanuel Fernandez, listed as 6'4", looks taller. Gassama gathers, ball played back again. Maikoma onto Rascan, left hand side of the centre circle inside his opponent's half. Rangers passing under control. Diamondi gets it forward to Antman. Antman had his jersey tugged by Yengi, but allowed to continue as Fernandez has it. 0-0 so far. Fernandez brings the ball back on his right foot. Pittman came to meet him. Centre circle now, played forward by Nijiga. Opportunity for Raskan, strokes the ball out to the edge of the box on the left hand side. Gassama has gone offside. Let me give you the Rangers team first of all. Jack Butland in goal. It's a back four of Tavernier, Nijiga, Fernandez, Makoma. Raskan, Diamondi, the two players who should sit. Antman, Asgard, Gassama are the three, and Danilo gets the chance to lead the line. He scored on his only other start against Livingston back in October of 2023. For Livingston, it's Jerome Prior in goal. The back three of Silla, Finlayson and Wilson. Lawwell and Montano, the wide players. So Pittman and Tate, and then Stevie May trying to support Terry Yengi, although I think Stevie May will find himself in several positions today.
Yeah, he'll go where it's required, and I think that's possibly why he's in the team. You know, he understands the game, he understands the asks of the game, and he'll fill in where needed. He'll recognise where he needs to go. Probably it looks like he's drifting slightly over to the left a little bit, possibly to try and keep Tavernier back. But you see, you know, Livingston are very, very compact. There's not going to be much space in the middle of the pitch. But Rangers need to get the ball wide and need to get the ball in behind Livingston. They've not done that as of yet, and it's been quite easy start for Livingston.
Raskan inside his own half. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 1. Calvin Miller, 5th goal of the season, the first goal in the Scottish Premiership this afternoon. Antman skips past his man, gets the cross, it takes a deflection. Prior opens up the palms of his hands and does enough to keep the ball in play, much to the disgust of the Rangers fans in the Broomloan stand. But the goalkeeper did well.
See, that was good wing play from Antman, but he actually makes a really good run initially. Raskan's got the ball, he's driving forward, and I think he can just feed it down the channel, but he keeps it, he goes safe. Then Antman has to beat the Livingston defender, whereas he was already in behind, and I think Rangers are going to need to, if Rangers keep putting the ball in behind, Livingston will have to drop their line. If they don't, they can maintain this high line they've got.
Rangers have gathered on the halfway line. Danilo plays it out wide to Tavernier. Tavernier keeps the ball in play down by the corner flag, whips it in. Finlayson drops down, gets the header away. Suso can't get there. Antman comes through. Pittman tries to clear. Ball comes out 25 yards out. Pittman is calling his players out as Raskan plays it out wide to Diamondi. Diamondi plays it off to Tavernier. Rangers coming down that right hand side. 0-0 so far. As Rangers try and gather and bring the ball back once more to the halfway line. Manuel Fernandez gathers, getting his chance, just a second start at this level. Say getting his chance, Rangers did pay £3.5 million for him, so it's not like you've not gone to the bargain bucket.
No, an expensive player to have sitting on your bench, so he would hope, and Danny Rowell will hope that he can take his opportunity and actually become a viable option at centre back and not just in because he has to be in.
Rangers have run the ball out of play. Sometimes it's good if you join a club and you've not clicked with that manager. Actually, the change does you good, selfishly.
Yeah, of course, and you know what? Players need to look after themselves because we all talk about loyalty to clubs, and yes, you want that if you're a fan, you want your players to be loyal, but let's be honest, when a club no longer needs you, they'll drop you like a hot stone, so players need to look out for themselves as well within that team context. And obviously, like you say, this could be an opportunity for Fernandez to go and nail down a spot in the team, because like you said, he's a big guy. You would imagine he'd be dominant in both boxes, so he could be a real asset for Rangers if used properly.
John Suter and Derek Cornelius both injured on international duty as Gassama comes forward, gets past Lawwell, into the box it goes, it's lifted up towards the back post and it has to be turned behind. Montano wasn't sure exactly what was behind him, so he just twisted his body, headed it behind, and Rangers have a corner. Yeah,
it's brilliant wide play from Gassama, and that's what you need when a team are going to drop off and be really, really low on the pitch. You need players to go 1v1, but I think he caught a bit of a sore one there from Silla. I think McGoma's trying to get him up, is he? But he's not keen to get back to his feet. I mean, you're talking about a big low lump of a boy. Silla's not a small guy, and he's full-blooded into that tackle, and I think Gassama took a sore one, but brilliant wing play initially. Hopefully he's okay to continue.
Yeah, if you're going to switch sports, he'd be a heck of a second row Mo Silla. So, he's got the beef, he's got the bulk, and he's also a very good player. So he's currently standing in the middle of that 6-yard box as the corner comes in. Doesn't want to Rangers through, and it is Emmanuel Fernandez who headers the ball home. His first chance, drilled it home with a header way past the goalkeeper Jerome Prior. Rangers 1, Livingston 0.
Exactly what I said. Go and be dominant in both boxes, and we spoke before the show about the height of McTominay's foot. Wait to see how high Fernandez is off the ground here. I mean, he's in there, he's over the top of Silla. It's a fantastic corner in, but take nothing away from this header. It's an absolute bullet header, and he's 10 feet off the ground. It's an incredible goal. We can see it back on the screen. And you know what? You could be a real asset in both boxes, like I said before. There you are, up and go and head it in. Fantastic run and brilliant header.
I mean, the header had the direction to come across the goalkeeper into the corner of the net, but I'll tell you what, it also had the power. Danny Wilson was initially trying to mark him, then Silla was there as well. Rangers, Gisama's had to go off the field, but Rangers are ahead, and it's exactly what you don't want as a visiting team, to fall behind in the first 50.
Yeah, especially from a set play. You know, Rangers have got a lot of quality going forward. They've got good delivery at set pieces, but Livingston are a relatively big side. They would expect to defend those situations better. And David Martindale will be raging, because you can hear the noise level in here has increased, and that's exactly what they didn't need.
So the ideal start for Rangers, 10 minutes on the clock at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Livingston 0. And Livingston, well, going behind's nothing new. They've gone behind in the last 2 matches, and they have come from behind to rescue a point. It's a tall order here at Ibrox as Tate plays the ball forward. Montana tries to go in there. Montana couldn't get there. Rascan will pick up, play it out wide. Ant-Man on the inside. Here's Diamondi. Not sure he got quite the contact he wanted. Makoma will gather. Gisama is back on the field. That's where the ball goes into, midway inside his opponent's half. Now shot to Rascan. Sissoko trying to run through and close down, but Fernandez strolled through that. Fernandez recruited from Peterborough, 7 goals and 61 there. As Rangers give the ball away, Stevie May with a little nutmeg, but he's then caught out, and Rascan did well. Tavernier back to Diamondi. Diamondi goes down. The challenge to Sissoko had a little look at the referee, because he knew he was going to get pinged for that.
Yeah, in the moment before that, when Stevie May picks up the ball, I had a look at Butland, because everything in me wants to try and shoot at the same frequency that Stevie Thompson managed the other night, because I'm pretty sure it was only dogs that could understand him at that point. But
I thought it was only dogs that could understand him, but I'm being very unkind to Stevie Thompson.
But actually, Butland was in a good position. He wasn't too high out of his goal, so that it wasn't on to try and lob him from the halfway line.
Don't come and get me for that, Tomo. Honest. As the ball gets played out wide, I think we're all excited at Hampden on Tuesday. Lovely long ball on the angle. Goalkeeper comes out to the edge of his area. And Jerome Prior has to just touch the ball away. It's one of these awkward ones for a goalkeeper. It comes at you quickly, and you know it's not going to come into the box, so you've got to play it. Danilo used his hand.
It was actually very good goalkeeping, but that's the ball I'm on about. You've got Ant-Man, who's a fly machine. Gisama's quick. If Livingston are giving you that space, put the ball in there. Now, I think Rangers are doing a similar, but Livingston don't have the same pace at the top end of the pitch, and Yengi and I think it's Pittman advanced or Stevie May to threaten that ball in behind. But Rangers with Gisama and certainly Ant-Man have the pace to make that a real option for them.
Free kick played forward. Yengi won the header. Fernandez forced to knock it out of play by the corner flag on the far side, the left-hand side, as we watch as Livingston attack the Copeland stand end of the ground. They have it down by the corner flag on that far side. Montano is there, lays it off to May. Tate calling for it. May by the corner flag, whips it into the box, headed away by Rascan. Now Rangers should be able to bring this away, although just a little bit too casual. Danilo brilliantly gets away from his man somehow. Danilo squares at Gisama. I think he's offside, tries to finish. The goalkeeper makes the save, and the flag then goes up. Douglas Ross, you could see him starting to put the flag up and thought better of it.
Yeah, fair play to him. He's got to let the play run out, but he was offside, and he's actually no need to be offside. Danilo does brilliantly to steal it off Finlayson, I think it is. And then just hold your run, just time it better. And he doesn't finish it anyway. But you're looking right across the line. There's no need for you to be offside there.
So our referee this afternoon, Ross Hardy, making his first trip to Ibrox this season. He's helped out by Dougie Potter and Douglas Ross. Douglas Ross, yes, politician and assistant referee. I'm not quite sure why anybody would make both of those career choices, but he obviously enjoys himself.
Yeah, he's from up my way as well. He's a glutton for punishment, obviously.
Ball played long on the angle. Rangers leading by 1-0. Manuel Fernandez, his first Scottish Premiership goal. He had scored for Rangers before in the League Cup on his debut against Alloa. Teddy Yengi tries to gather outside the area, loses out to Diamondi. Diamondi comes through up towards the halfway line, releases the ball out wide onto Ant-Man. The flying fin at the moment. He's gone past his man quite easily, went past Danny Wilson. Now it's gathered on the inside, plays it to Diamondi. Here's Magoma, he tries the shot, blocked by Pittman. That comes back to Fernandez. Yengi came in, gave him a little nudge, and the ball breaks to Stevie May. That's exactly what Livingston need from Terry Yengi, is that little bit of play to come back to try and make sure the Rangers two centre halves don't have it easy.
Yeah, and I actually thought Fernandez done well initially. He steps in front of him, but then he's just a bit slack and just tries to flick the ball away the outside of his foot. He needs to actually step onto that there, because Yengi's on his heels initially, but gets enough on the ball that they turn the ball over, and then they get the free kick in the left back area.
It's going to be taken by Danny Wilson, formerly of this parish, played here in 2 spells. Won, amongst other things, the Scottish Premiership title back in 2009-10. It's played forward, comes back, Danilo can't get there. No break for Mo Silla. Silla played in every game this season for Livingston, now having to play the centre back on the right hand side of the 3. Forward it goes on to Yengi. Yengi tries to get the better of De Jager. And the ball will drop down onto Tavernier. Tavernier to Raskin. Raskin tried the clever little touch, but it didn't work. And here comes Samson Law up at the edge of the area. Pulls the trigger. Good block by Magoma. Livingston have it. Round the corner it goes. Livy tried to press, trying to find an equaliser. May works the 1-2. Sissoko. Sissoko on that far side. Lifts the ball in. Pittman with a header. It's well wide in the end. But tell you what, Richard Foster alongside made a little bit more space than he realised.
Yeah, it's a okay ball in. It's a tough header for Stevie May to get anything on. Really, there's no pace in it, but you can't be flicking the ball blind, 25 yards from your own goal. Those are the kind of things you try up the other end of the pitch, because if they come off, you create a chance. But there, you just need to be more secure with the ball. A bit slack from Rangers, and they nearly paid the price. But I thought Livingston rushed try and get the opportunity. They could have just kept, stayed on the ball a bit higher up the pitch, but they eventually it was a weak, it was an okay cross and a weak header.
Motherwell haven't won at Rugby Park since 2021. They're one ahead. Giovanna Masson Hisse has got his first of the season. Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1. It is Dundee United 0, Falkirk 1, Calvin Miller with his 5th of the season. And it's 0-0, Hibs Dundee. Here Rangers lead by 1-0. Ascar round the corner to the edge of the box to Gassama. Gassama trying to get away from Silla. Steps inside, goes for the curl. Well, the idea was right, the execution not good enough. The goalkeeper realised that was going wide, but again he's showing the threat down this left flank. Yeah, he
gave himself too much to do there. The angle was too great. He's never going to get that ball back round. Just a bit of, I think the was it Law there that he wasn't at right back. It was actually Pittman and Silla, and Gassama's eyes must have lit up, because that combination is not going to fill you with much fear if you're a flying winger, which he is.
Livingston play the ball for Christian Montano on that far side, looking for his first ever victory against Rangers. His appearance number 9, he overruns that, and Rangers gather again, coming forward, leading as they do by 1-0. Ant-Man goes in, sliding challenge by Montano, won the ball, Ant-Man went to ground. Now the long ball forward, Terry Yengi, the ball's come over the top, he's brought it under control, Yengi! How's that for your first goal of the season? Route 1 football, and boy does that work. Over the top it went, and he guided it in to the back of the net past Jack Butland, who'd come out. It is Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
Wow. I tell you what, it's a brilliant tackle initially, and then it's a fantastic ball over the top. I think it's very, very close, but it's an unbelievable first touch he takes and shows great composure to score. And that's the problem that's plagued Rangers all season. It's when that ball turns over, they're so open defensively. Now they are, to be fair to Giga and Fernandez, are very, very close to Yengi, but he just does unbelievably well. Now, whether he's onside or offside, well, I see the referee, I don't know what he's doing here.
Well, the referee's making hand signals to Jaden Mahoa as if to say, across his body, as if to say, no, it is not a foul.
Or maybe he's saying he's drawn lines, no?
Could be, although I would have thought he might have gone with arm up and down.
I think it's a goal.
I think so. I thought he played it right, but the referee is continuing to check. They will check back at VAR headquarters at the moment. Our VAR this afternoon is John Beaton, very experienced match official. But the players are hanging around at the moment, waiting to get underway. Ross Hardy.
The quality of the pass and touch and finish deserves it. It deserves a goal.
Yeah, there's the announcement in the stadium. Checking goal for possible offside. I mean, Terry Yengi is not had a good start to the season. I mean, it's 12 games without a goal. He hasn't scored since the Ross County playoff win, but he took that as if he's been scoring every day of the week.
Yeah, like I said, it's a fantastic first touch, and by the way, he's got two absolute man mountain of defenders chasing him, and the composure he shows, the pace he shows, and then the quality to roll the ball past that. Goal.
Goal will be given. Ibrox is about to find that out, and that's why you get a little ripple of boos. Well, Livingston, Richard Foster's alongside me. Livingston have done this so often this season. They've got themselves behind, and somehow they managed to get themselves level again. It's a good thing to be able to do.
It's a brilliant thing to be able to do, but I'm pretty sure for Martindale's stress levels, he'd rather that it didn't happen, and they were just a bit better defensively. And straight away from the kick off, the ball into the corner, they've given away a free kick, and now Rangers have got another opportunity to put a ball into the box.
So goals in all matches in the top flight, with the exception of Hibs Dundee. That remains 0-0. Dundee have got a dreadful record there, don't they? They've won there since 2001. Free kick to Rangers, down by the corner flag. Tavernier's come across from right back to take it. Law is a one-man wall, if you can get such a thing. And I'll tell you what, they should be checking to see where Fernandez is. Yengi's possibly the tallest player. He's looking to try and get at him. It's dropped in. The header across straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. I'll tell you what, Fernandez is a joy for other players because he opens up other options.
Yeah, because especially when you score with the first set play, everyone's worried about you, and they maybe take their eye off the ball in terms of other players. And we know Raskan's very, very good in the air for someone quite small.
Livingston's come to the other end. The ball drops inside the box, and Teddy Yengi actually hits it against the defender. I thought he was going to pull the trigger past Jack Butland, but Fernandez got back to make the block, and out of nothing, Livingston curate another chance.
It's just it comes at him at a real awkward height, but he doesn't have a shot with any belief. It's almost like he's just trying to guide his foot onto it, but that's a real opportunity. I think he needs to try and manipulate his body there to get power behind it. And we see it again I'm just watching it again on the screen, and yeah, it's just a weak finish. Does it hit his hand? I don't think. It looks like they're possibly his stomach, but yeah, it's a weak finish in the end.
So Rangers 1, Livingston 1. We've played 21 minutes. You're with us here on BBC Radio Scotland. Diamondi got caught there, but Rangers have the ball on the halfway line. Tavernier flicks it up. Antman brings it down on the edge of the area. Silla gets in front of him and plays it back to his goalkeeper. All in pale green. Now the ball gets played forward. Fernandez was holding Yengi, but Yengi wasn't going to get near the ball anyway. Danny Roll come out. He's not overly happy. So the potential handball was checked. Richard Foster alongside mate spotting that, but it was cleared and checked, and all was fine. I think it certainly looked to us that it had come off the stomach rather than the arm.
Yeah, it did on first view, but it was just such a weak finish. It's like he's happy just to get something on it. I don't know if it's maybe just his stride pattern and he can't quite work his feet out, but not a good finish.
Long ball over the top. Goalkeeper has to come outside his box and head it. Jerome Prior, ever present, the man from Toulon. He's been a really good pick-up between the sticks for Livingston. Now on appearance number 62. The Rangers have a throw. Level with the penalty area. Throwing the ball into Raskan. One apiece at Ibrox. Raskan gathers, plays it back to Jayden McGowan. Down the corner it goes to Gassama. Gassama plays it back across to Raskan. Raskan, right foot, plays the ball into the box, headed away by Finlayson, the former Rangers youth player. Never got to play on Ibrox in the top team, but he'll be loving this experience at the moment. Great touch, lovely pass. Just a shame it came from the referee, and we'll get a drop ball. Some referees can't play, but Ross Hardy looked tidy there.
And the old no-look pass as well.
Here comes Tavernier, gets it forward. Now played back, 30 yards from goal. Mo Diamondi. Diamondi has got Antman out wide. Antman has a little look. Montana, I beg your pardon, tries to gather. Now the little ball into the box, headed away by Finlayson again. Drops down to Raskan and actually hit Gassama. Ball comes away up towards the halfway line. Back Rangers being chased back. Sususo trying to gather on Raskan, and Raskan has to use his goalkeeper, spins the pass back to him, and Rangers will build again. De Giga, out wide it goes. Trying to keep an eye on where James Tavernier is. Tavernier appears to me to be staying out of the lane of Antman out wide. You were so used to seeing Tavernier going down that right side.
Yeah, and McGowan was doing the same on the left-hand side. You can understand it, try and get the ball into the wide player quicker, but they're not doing that. And Livingston have got all their bodies in the middle of the pitch, and it becomes really quite congested.
Tavernier with a long angle ball. Gassama takes one bounce inside the box, reaches out, tries to keep it in, doesn't do so.
He's offside again, and again he's looking right across the line. There's no need to be offside there. If Tavernier drops into that little pocket of space, to play that pass, then I can get it. But I think sometimes allow your fullback to get the ball and play your winger higher up the pitch.
So the opportunity to play the ball forward, and it's gathered. Well, we're getting some information coming through from VAR just to say that the ball actually did strike the hand, but I think it came off his body, therefore it wouldn't have been a problem. It was a natural movement, lower part of the arm, as we understand. So John Beaton said no penalty. I'm just wondering if Livingston would like another little look at that at some point,
especially if it's on target. I know, I get it. I mean, his arm is not outstretched at all. There is, it is tucked in there, but I don't know if it stops the ball going on target.
I think it's one of these ones. If it was to be against you, you certainly would not be happy. It falls in that category.
Haven't seen it again. I think they're quite lucky.
Danilo
could have easily been given.
Gets the ball forward onto Diamondi. Diamondi sends it out wide. Scarred into the middle, and it's knocked away. Tavernier will gather 35 yards from goal out wide on that right hand side. Diamondi says play it behind me onto Raskan. That's where it goes.
Paul, I haven't seen it again. I mean, I went against everyone with the old Harvey Barnes. I'm going to go against. I think that's a penalty. I think the movement is natural, but it hits his arm and it stops the ball going on target. I think that Livingston are very, very unfortunate not to get a penalty there.
There's a big talking point for this match here at Ibrox. Rangers against Livingston, one apiece. Paul Mitchell, Richard Foster bringing you all the action. Rangers ahead, Livingston pegged them back through Teddy Yengi. Manuel Fernandez scoring after 9 minutes. Yengi getting the ball 9 minutes later into the back of the net. No way through for Rangers on that far side. And the ball knocked out of play. Christian Montano, the Colombian. Now 124 matches for Livingston. He's been a really good pickup, solid servant, played the top league, the championship, and now back in the top flight with Livingston. Now here's Gassama wide on the left hand side. Samson Law up against him. Law making his first start since he played against Celtic. Now that ball comes across. Gassama gets it in, drops to the back post. Ant-Man was in there and it was spun away by Montano. Did really well.
I mean, how he hooks that clear, I have no idea, but again, it's good wing play from Gassama, because Law looks like he's sharp, looks like he's quick, but Gassama's got his number at the moment, so the Rangers need to keep feeding him the ball.
Makoma plays the ball on the inside and easily knocked away. Here's Teddy Yengi, who gets another little chase. Yengi, Najiga's come out outside the box, right hand side. Yengi tries to roll him. Makoma comes in behind, and still Teddy Yengi gets ahead of him, wins the ball, plays it out wide onto Law. Law gets the cross. It's deep. Stevie May's trying to chase across for that. May will leave it for Montano. Falkirk are 2 up at Tannadice. Another own goal by the goalkeeper. He got an own goal last time out at Tynecastle. Kucherenko puts through his own net again. Here come Rangers trying to gather. Danilo through the centre circle, out wide. Gassama will gather. Left hand side, drifting inside, and hits it against D'Souza. And the ball doesn't quite run out of play. David Martindale was ordering the ball to get out. Gassama slides down, beats Law. Law then a little chip at him. Gassama does well. Back to Raskan, out wide onto Makoma. Motherwell have gone for a second goal. Maswanhisi, Killie have lost their last 5 matches. That'll be 6 in a row. Real problems at Rugby Park.
Tell you what, Maswanhisi must be catching the eye of clubs. He's having another fantastic season, and he's got that real quality about him.
I think he's a really good player, and if he could add more goals to that, I think
I think, Paul, you're saying that's his second.
Yep.
It's not. He scored 5 or 6 this season already.
I'll give it a check because it's as the ball gets played forward. I did wonder, because I've got Stamatopoulos, Longello, wondering if it's missed on the sheet. I'll give that a check. I think he's a really good player. There's an argument for Livingston to see and get on. Raskan just wants the ball. Fernandez is going across to speak to his player.
You can't just be off.
You can't be off the pitch. I mean, the play has stopped as Livingston are going to check their player.
Yeah, but that foray forward from Livingston there comes from, I've just said, get the ball to Gassama, keep feeding Gassama the ball. They actually try and play a short one into Magoma, who's in the middle of the pitch. And with all respect, fullbacks in there don't have the same awareness as midfield players. Silla steals the ball off them. It's another just long ball forward, and Yengi's onto it. Fernandez and Giga at the back need to have better organisation, that they can't just allow one ball up the pitch and Tete Yengi can get onto it. I think then Mangoma recovers and almost tackles Fernandez out the way, and Yengi gets on the ball again, which the Rangers fans made their feelings known about that.
And my apologies, Desmond Easy's gone on to 10 for the season. He's not on my list.
There you go. So, like I say, he must be, for me, and I mean, I'm not wanting Motherwell to lose their best players, but he's having a fantastic season, and he's a fantastic character as well. So I think that the team's probably higher up the league, although Motherwell will be up there themselves. The bigger teams certainly are probably looking at him.
I've just always been impressed with him. There was a little drinks break going on. He just seems to have everything that you look for in a player.
Yeah, he's got pace, he's got trickery, his movement, he times his movement really well, he can finish, he can header. We see him score a goal, I think it was early in the season against Dundee, or last season against Dundee. Yeah, he's got a bit of everything, and like I say, more than that, he's a good boy to work with. He wants to get better, he wants to improve. I think it was Stuart Kettlewell that actually brought him to the club, which will be a bittersweet.
Yeah, Hibs have scored. Kieran Barry, who's on the fringes of the Scotland squad, he was replaced in the squad this time around by Lawrence Shanklin, and he's put Hibs ahead. Hibs 1, Dundee 0, and that is his 5th goal of the season. Here, Rangers 1, Livingston 1. It's been an interesting few minutes since the goal, because obviously Livingston had the chance with Yengi. We think it certainly could have been a penalty, and Rangers certainly have gone back a little bit.
Yeah, they started the game quite quickly. They were moving the ball well. They've just slowed the game down a little bit. I think the crowd have went a bit flat because of the goal and then the chance, and it's kind of filtered down onto the pitch as well. Livingston look like they're enjoying the game. They look like they're enjoying the challenge. I think getting back into the game so quickly helped them. Didn't allow Rangers to build anything, and there you go, another slack bit of play in the middle of the pitch.
Here's Teddy Yengi. That's a terrible ball, easily straight to Tavernier. David Martindale couldn't believe it's given away. Now the long ball over the top for Gassama. Lowe comes back in, wins the ball, gets ahead of him, and can slide it forward onto Pittman. Pittman back on the inside onto Macaulay Tate. Yengi holding up. He was being held up as well. It's a free kick.
When you look at the difference there, the ball goes to Gassama and he's thrown out the way with a guy who's half his size. The ball goes to Yengi. He just stands there, takes forces Fernandez into fouling him, and wins Livingston a free kick. And let's be honest, they're good at this. They're good at getting first contact on these long balls, and this is what they'll play for.
So the opportunity to get the ball forward is with Stevie May. May now long on the angle, one apiece at Ibrox. 32 minutes gone. It breaks on to Mo Silla. Silla holds the ball up, does a little pirouette, sends it round the side, tried to find Danny Wilson, couldn't do so. Rangers gather, have to push the ball back onto Butland, and Butland will send it long over the halfway line. There's the header coming back in, and there's the flick on by Wilson, but again Rangers win the header up to the halfway line. It's on to Danilo. Danilo gathers, getting a chance to start this afternoon. As the main number 9 played it forward to Makoma. Makoma out wide. Gassama looks for the little step on the inside. Law takes him down. That's a free kick. The referee was right behind. No yellow cards, just a foul, and the free kick will come from 30 yards out.
Yeah, he's not having an easy time of it as Law. He's struggling with Gassama when he goes down the line. He struggles when he comes inside. I mean, I think Gassama's running into bodies there. There's no need for the free kick. He's very, very lucky not to get a booking. For me, that's a Stonewall yellow card all day long. And I think it just comes out of the frustration that he doesn't really know what to do against Gassama, because regardless of what he tries, Gassama seems to get the better of him. So
the opportunity now to try and figure out a free kick. James Tavernier, 7 goals against Livingston in his career, 5 in his last 8. Scored a penalty last time out, missed a penalty as well. So he's got an interesting record up against Livingston. So the opportunity. Makoma watches as Diamondi runs a ball that's clipped into the middle. The goalkeeper, I thought, should have caught that, just fisted the ball away. I didn't think there was a great deal of pace on the ball. No,
but to be fair, he does get good distance on the punch, so it's not overly a problem, but the attack's over if he catches it. You're right.
Rangers come again. Tavernier, Law up at the edge of the area, tries to get in there again. Both players jump in. Referee happy that the ball's with Rangers, no free kick, and the ball is played back inside onto Tavernier. Rangers 1, Livingston 1. Rangers were ahead. Livingston levelled as Wilson always played to the edge of the area. He felt he was being pushed and he scissored the ball behind himself and back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, you know, the goalkeeper's right to pick that up, because if he meant that, he's a better player than I give him credit for. Yeah, he's just off balance. I think it's Fernandes puts him off balance, and he's just lucky that the ball goes straight back to his goalkeeper.
The ball gets launched long. Here's the opportunity to try and get things moving. And it's going to be Rangers building out from the back again. But again, the passes aren't crisp. Livingston, well, they thought they conceded a free kick. The referee, well, decided not to blow the whistle when perhaps he should have done. I think everybody had stopped waiting for it. And here come Rangers again. Building up to the halfway line. Osama Law right in behind him. Read it that time. Goes down as if he was caught. And the referee, I think on the advice perhaps of the fourth official who was standing right next to it, has said to the referee he was caught. That's a free kick.
Yeah, and I think that's all it is. I don't think he means it. I know Big Marvin down there's a bit annoyed by it. He's a step away from Gassama, and Gassama just tries to use his arm to to hold him off. And I think because he's slightly smaller, he catches him in the face. It didn't look to me that there was any malice in it at all. It was just a bit unfortunate collision.
Yeah, everything's checked by VAR. All is fine. But again, if you're Livingston, you welcome this. It stops the game. It keeps the flow from really developing Rangers' way. And I guess now your next target is getting a half-time 1-1. You'll be happy.
Absolutely. And you said it before the game. They have to upset Rangers' rhythm, which at the moment they're doing. And fair play to them, because obviously Rangers started the game quite well. They scored the early goal, and you just think they're going to go and dominate. But Livingston have dug in and they've found their way back into the game. But you're right, all these stoppages just feed into Livingston's game plan.
So the ball is on the halfway line. It will be a free kick for Livingston. Law wants to get back on the field of play. I'm
not sure they're going to let him just run on there, because he's just going to run right up the right-hand side.
Yeah, Rangers do not have a player within, 30 yards of the free kick, so they don't want to let him. Stevie May comes back, strikes the ball. Now Law is allowed to go on before the ball lands at the edge of the area, headed away by Fernandes, the Rangers goal scorer, after 9 minutes. Now the ball is out wide. Little drop down onto Gassama. Gassama, lovely turn and spin, try to move forward, gets it onto Telo Asgard. Not done too much in the game, Asgard. Ball comes back to McHoma, and again Asgard just put his own teammate into a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah, and he actually takes a brilliant touch back onto his right side, and I think that's at the point that you then play the ball in behind, because Livingston have got a high line, there's no pressure on you. I think you've got to feed the ball in behind there and catch Livingston off guard. You don't, you go back, you allow them to drop into their shape, and then it slows the game down again.
What a piece here. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2, Hibs 1, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2. That's when he's into double figures for the season. Now the ball back with Rangers. Fernandes, Giga, Asgard. All new faces for Rangers this season. Fernandes out wide to Gassama, tries to find him. Osila is there, managed to get the head on the ball. Gassama goes after it, gathers it. Thought he was a little slow to do so with Silla down. Well, the ball is pulled back onto Raskan. Raskan, ball into the middle. Danny Wilson heads it away. An opportunity for Montano to go across. Back to Tavernier. Tavernier with the ball into the middle. Silla missed it. Tell you what, probably just as well he did. Could have put it beyond his own goalkeeper. The ball drifts outside the box on the other side, and Law gets it away.
Yeah, it's there's no telling where that ball would have gone. It's probably better that it missed everyone. But I think the Gassama one, you're right, Paul. I think if he goes after the ball, because Silla has fallen over, but I just think that allows the fans to get annoyed. Whereas if you charge after the ball, go and get a quick turn, and you're in the box, it gets them on their feet and it gets them behind you. But he allowed the whole situation just to slow down and go a bit flat.
Raskan plays the ball out wide onto Ant-Man. Ant-Man lays it off to Diamondi, 30 yards from goal. Up to the edge of the box it goes. Asgard plays it to McHoma. McHoma back on the inside onto Raskan. Raskan looks up, moves away from the referee. He's gone backwards, now comes out to McHoma. McHoma trying to get past Pittman. Pittman trying to close him down. Pittman trying to block the cross. He couldn't do so. Daniel Finlayson gets the header away, and out of play it goes. They are fighting to get to that half-time break. 38.5 on the clock.
Yeah, but even then, Livingston have got 3 players in the middle of the box, and Rangers, they've all dropped off and went for the cutback, whereas the position that McGowan was in, he can never cut that back. He's onside, by the way.
Another long ball gets played through. Butland has to race from his goal as Suso got the ball almost to Teddy Yengi again. The two centre-halves very close together, and we're almost caught out now. Danilo tries to come forward. Law slides to ground, wins the ball, gets blocked off though, and Rangers will gather on the halfway line to Danilo. Right foot, he clipped out wide onto Diamondi. Left foot trying to get the ball across, hits Mo Silla. Silla is okay as the ball gets played inside by Law. Lays it off to Teddy Yengi. Yengi tries to get the touch through onto Stevie May. Going to ground was De Giga. Montano has it, plays it out wide onto May. Suso wants it into the middle, it's delivered, hits off Tavernier and onto the chest of the goalkeeper, who decides it wasn't a back pass, and he'll pick it up. And again, Rangers in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, they're just so slack. When the ball turns over, they're all over the place. There's not a lot of organisation at the back there, and Livingston actually unfortunately don't get a better ball into the box. It definitely wasn't a pass back right enough, but I think he's just got to guide that in behind the Rangers defence. I think he tries to find feet, but it was a brilliant play initially by Montano.
Law did well. Montano's a good player out on that far side. Law's doing well on this right side, played on the inside. Pittman tries to get things moving, plays the 1-2. Pittman coming down this right flank. Diamondi is with him. Pittman tries to play it off and trying to win the corner. The ball spins away, and eventually it's knocked out of play by Diamondi. It's going to be a throw-in.
I tell you what, fair play to Lowell, because he's stuck at it, and in the last 2 occasions he defended really, really well. Magoma's almost right behind Gassama when he tackles him. I think Magoma's going for the overlap, but Gassama's going 1v1, and then one tackle takes them both out of the game, and it just allows Livingston to get up the pitch, and they look really dangerous because the Rangers look very, very nervous at the back.
So the opportunity for Samson Law. Signed a 3-year deal with Livingston. Looks like a good piece of business for them. Well, this just appearance number 16. He's playing with a little bit of swagger. Now goes for that long throw, headed away by Fernandez, and the ball comes all the way back, hits the corner flag, and does go out of play. Oh, you could see me just had to react in case that had stayed in.
He was desperate for a corner there, wasn't he? But he could have taken the ball there and run right into the box, but
that's another long throw, not quite as long that time. Headed away by Fernandez, outside the box, falls to Danilo. Danilo being forced down to the corner flag, has to knock it out of play. It's another opportunity for Livingston for this long throw. Half time is 4 minutes away. Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
Didn't you get someone in front of Fernandez, because he's won the last 2?
I'm not sure what you can put in front of Fernandez to stop him. Here comes the throw. Long in again. There's a little head flick came off Fernandez. It required a little bit of play to knock it out again. Law tried to cross the ball.
He's got his corner finally. That's all he wanted.
I'm not sure Nico Rascal appreciated having the ball leathered off him either.
No, I think the ploy there is because it's funny, because Rangers are quite deep in the box for that long throw, and I think it would have been on there to throw it into Danny Wilson's feet. Now, you're probably not wanting it to be Danny Wilson, but if you put Teddy Yengi at that front post and get someone off the front of him, I think that might be a ploy, because the Rangers sink right back into the box.
So Stevie May looking to take the corner kick from this right hand side. Has scored against Rangers just once in his career. Stevie May looking to set up from this right hand side. May, that's a great corner round, the head flick on, came past the arm of Fernandez. The ball comes up to the edge of the area. Finlayson wins it from a Rangers youth player. Now Wilson heads it up, and it takes a bounce in the edge of the 6-yard box and into the arms of Jack Butland. But it's actions like that that make the home fans very, very nervous.
Yeah, especially when Livingston won 2 headers in the edge of the box unopposed. You know, the Rangers have got plenty of players there. Finlayson initially wins it, flicks it on. Danny Wilson wins it, flicks it on. And no one from Rangers looks like they actually want to go and try and win the ball. Again, there's the opportunity. Giga's got to play the ball in behind from Tavernier, makes a fantastic run. I think it's Ant-Man makes the short run to create the space, and they play it to feet and they bounce it back. They need to try and play the ball in behind and get Livingston moving.
It's a really good shift by Livingston at the moment. Rangers unbeaten the last 22 meetings in all competitions between these two sides. Scott Pittman trying to close down McGoma. He was the only survivor from the last time that Livingston beat Rangers. That was at home. back in 2018. Dolly Menga, whatever happened to Dolly Menga. As Rangers pass the ball out of play on that far side, and you can start to, if I'm Danny Roll, I want half-time. I want these guys inside.
Yeah, I think, David Martindale wants to get to half-time to kind of praise his team for getting back into the game and looking the more dangerous of the two. And you're right, Danny Roll needs to get them back in there, have a word with them, try and get them going again, because they've just went really, really flat and they look slack, they look lazy on the ball. They're playing into Livingston's hands because they're playing short or they're playing central, whereas the space is in behind and wide.
So Suso's going to gather a loose pass out wide. Nakoma did very well to win it on the halfway line with a tackle, and now Gassama is attacking down his left-hand side. He's been shown on the inside, not a good idea, he's right-footed, and then he passes the ball out wide, and Ant-Man tries to go across to rescue it, and well, Montano did well, and then the ball gets played away, the flag goes up, man goes down, and the referee just wanders over just to make sure all is okay, no cards required. And again, Livingston will be happy, they've won a free kick outside the box.
Yeah, and I just wonder with Gassama, that knock he took early in the game, I wonder if that's impacting him, because he's almost jogging forward, whereas the ball breaks, the ball turns over, so go and attack at pace, go and really, really drive at the defender, but he slows it down, and the end goes inside, he plays a poor pass behind everyone, and the whole thing peters out into nothing. But so I wonder if he's maybe feeling that knock he got early on. I mean, he got it strapped up, didn't he? So
of course it won't help going in and sit for 15 minutes.
No,
either.
Absolutely not.
So Nitin Bairami might be a player that could be required. 4 minutes of additional time start now as Livingston try and burst through again. The pass back to the goalkeeper, and Butland has to take a touch and thump it clear. And again, Rangers look uneasy at the back, and again, Christian Montano that time was the player running through.
I tell you what, Jack Butland has done excellent there, because that ball back to him is not a good pass, and he takes a brilliant first touch, because if he doesn't, he's in a world of trouble.
Well, Rangers have struggled at home this season in terms of where they stand, just 8th in terms of home points won in the league this season. The Rangers are really at the top 2 when it comes to that stat. They had the lead against Livingston. Livingston have equalised as Tate rather overhits the ball. Stevie May was making a good run over the halfway line, and Rangers come again, but as Richard Foster alongside me knows, it's always a dangerous time this for opposing side at Ibrox. Those 3 minutes that you've got that chance to get into half-time level, and Rangers always seem to find a little something.
Yeah, you don't want to concede now, neither team, but especially not Livingston, because it gives Rangers and the home fans, it gives them a huge lift.
Tavernier plays it forward, it was blocked, so Finlayson can head the ball away just from the left-hand side of the D. Now it comes back again. Rangers, Raskan opens up, did get caught, but wasn't a free kick. In fact, the referee does give the free kick as Rangers gave the ball away. Diamondi was a little angry there, looked slap out of the body of Christian Montano. You can sense the frustration.
Yeah, but I just think the way they're playing is right into Livingston's hands. If you look at the middle of the pitch, they've got Raskan, Diamondi, Asgard, Magoma's going in there, Tavernier's going in there. You've got too many bodies in the middle of the pitch. They're playing short little passes in front of Livingston the whole time, and it's too easy.
Yeah, they're like a team playing with those inverted fullbacks, which Rangers traditionally don't do. As that ball's played into the box, Fernandez tried to gather as a man down. Free kick given. Fernandez was fouling. I think you're blunting Makoma and Tavernier the way they're playing.
Absolutely. We've seen the quality that Tavernier possesses in those wide areas. He's not doing that, but I just, if a team are compact against you, what you need to move the ball quickly, and you need to try and spread them as wide as possible, because otherwise they just stay nice and narrow, nice and compact. Whenever there's a cross going into the box, Livingston have got 3 centre-backs against Danilo, so they'll always fancy their chances of clearing it, and it's just, the Rangers are just playing everything centrally and short and slow, and it just plays into Livingston's hands.
Rangers have won the last 6 meetings of these sides, outscoring Livingston by 18-1. Today it is 1-1 as Wilson goes in, wins the ball at the feet of Danilo, launches it over the halfway line. The flag, Biggie Potter says that's Rangers ball, as we've got 1 additional minute of the time recommended. And here's the opportunity now for Ajiga to come out from the back. Ajiga on the inside onto Raskan, through the centre circle, out wide it comes. Katie Makoma out wide, Gassama up against Law. It's been a fascinating battle, tries to run the fullback that time before cutting back on the inside, ball into the middle. Finlayson has been immense with the headers that he's won from those crosses. Comes out wide though to Antman. Antman is dispossessed, and round the corner it goes on to Stevie May. May quickly flicks it forward looking for Yengi, who was fouling. And I think that's the correct call by referee Ross Hardy. And he stopped the free kick from being taken. And you could see Tavernier getting in there. Rangers will now move things forward inside the final few seconds. Here's Asgar. There are no ongoing checks, save VAR. So the referee will bring this to a halt when he wants to. Agoma forces Raskan back. Raskan sends it out wide, and it is half-time at Ibrox. Well, Rangers took the lead through Emmanuel Fernandez, the man getting a chance to start here today, but Teddy Yengi with his first goal of the season. The big Aussie outran the centre halves and planted the ball beyond Jack Butland after 18 minutes. Should Livingston have had a penalty after 21? It's a question that David Martindale may well be asking the referee Ross Hardy as he goes off at the break. Full 45 minutes to come from Richard Forster and myself, but for now, half-time here at Ibrox. It's Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
What's going to happen there in terms of the reaction? See David Martindale going off, he's shaking his head down there in the touch. I'm just waiting to see if there's a wee word if the camera panned away.
I think he's hanging about.
I just wondered, Tom, he was lingering.
He's having a word with the referee. I think I would be surprised if Martindale doesn't follow suit.
Yeah, just waiting to see. The camera's panned away from that, unfortunately, for now, so we'll not see that. We'll hear from the managers later on in the programme. Michael, still playing there at Easter Road. Have you just hit half-time?
It's just blown for half-time here, obviously, as you heard before. It's 1-0 for Hibs, the home side, thoroughly on top, thoroughly deserving of their half-time lead. They go in 1-0 up.
Good stuff. We'll get the half-time reports from the guys right around the country. Sports Sound is on. It's two actual separate programmes. They were on until 7 o'clock. Right here with the guys in the studio, fans to come, reaction to come, a bit of music to come, chosen by two Scotland heroes this evening on Sports. And after 7 o'clock, we'll hand to David Curry. He'll be in Paisley at the Smyser Stadium, St Mirren against Celtic. Full commentary to come. That one kicks off at 8 o'clock. We're on the telly today, BBC One Scotland, from 4:30 until 5:35.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
Go! Go! From BBC Radio Scotland.
The European football season continues.
It's a wonderful move, by the way, and that is a wonderful goal!
Sports Sound brings you the biggest games for Scotland's biggest teams.
In the Europa League, Feyenoord hosts Celtic.
Iheanacho takes a touch and scores!
And Rangers take on Braga.
Finlay Curtis, a really nice finish.
Aberdeen play Noah at home in the Conference League.
Devlin in the back post, fires it home!
Sports Sound, where Europe comes to play.
Don't miss all the action. Thursday from 5 p.m.
Listen on digital radio or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. So much to talk about after the first 45 minutes of action right across the country. Our commentary match this afternoon comes from Ibrox. Rangers are at home to Livingston. Our commentary team there this afternoon, Richard Foster and Paul Mitchell.
It's been a fascinating afternoon at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Livingston 1. Rangers going ahead through Emmanuel Fernandez, powering home a header. Brilliant presence inside the box. He's tall, he's strong, and boy, did he hammer that header past Jerome Prior. 1-0 for Rangers, and it all looked good. Rangers had started out reasonably well, but they were undone, as they've so often been this season. Long pass over the top. Teddy Yengi hadn't scored this term. Took the finish just nicely past Jack Butland, like he'd been knocking in 10, 20 goals all season already, but he's off the mark for this season, and that made it 1-1 after just 18 minutes. 3 minutes later, there was a shout for a penalty. Teddy Yengi got the ball away, it was blocked, and the referee decided there was nothing. VAR did review it, and they said it was a natural movement of the hand coming across, but I think David Martindale will be wanting a little word with the referee. After that, Rangers looked less convinced. I think Tavernier on one side and McComa on the other have been blocked on the runs by their willingness to try and get Gassama and Antman to be the wide players today, and Rangers have stuttered just that little bit. Richard Foster, you reckoned it was a penalty. You indicated the handball pretty quickly, and you think perhaps Rangers have got away with one.
Yeah, I just think, his arm's not overly outstretched. It will be it is a natural movement, but the ball's going on target. Jack Butland is going to have to save it. Now, it's not a hard shot. He doesn't get a good connection with it, but Jack Butland is going to have to stop the ball going in his net. But therefore, the hand has stopped the ball going towards the Rangers goal. So I just think of the handballs that I've seen this season, that for me falls into the category that penalties have been given for. So yeah, for me, the referee should have had to at least be sent to review it.
I think it's another prime example that the handball law is not fit for purpose and needs revisited. In terms of this match, though, Livingston have done well. They fought very hard, playing with three at the back, Silla, Finlayson and Wilson, and they're going to be tough to get past in the second half. Half-time, Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
Thanks to Paul and Richard. It's interesting. We're not hearing the commentary. We've been doing the open all night, but the guys have exactly the same opinion there as all of our pundits on the programme. We'll hear from Davy Martindale post-match. Next up, Easter Road, Hibs at home to Dundee. Let's get the half-time report from Michael Stewart.
Yeah, well, it's the home side that have taken a lead in at half-time. Thoroughly deserved. They've been bright, they've been inventive, they've controlled much of the game. For Dundee, it's been a backs against the wall for a large part of that first half, and John McCracken made a couple of good saves. The biggest moment in the game, though, bar the goal, was a gilt-edged opportunity for Kieran Bowie. John McCracken didn't need to bother saving it. It was a really, really well-worked move from Hibs that ended up down the right-hand side and got clipped into the box from Josh Mulligan. And with the goal at his mercy from about 5 yards out, Kieran Bowie running in towards the back post, he somehow managed to head it over the crossbar. You could tell it was weighing on his mind, that little bit of apprehension and anxiety that's led to his drop-off in form of late. It was bothering him, but thankfully for Kieran Bowie and for Hibs, he came up trumps after half an hour. Another really nice work move. Barlasser in the middle of the park, who's been another standout performer for the home side. He played a crossfield raking past Nicky Cadden, who was in loads of space over on the left. He twisted and turned, managed to get the ball into the box. Kieran Bowie with a lovely first touch just to take it away from the defenders and into his path on the left boot. And from the angle, he leathered it low into the goal, past John McCracken to put Hibs 1-0 up. There's been a few other opportunities for the home side, but nothing as clear as that header that went over the crossbar. And as I said, half-time, it's 1-0 to the home side, thoroughly deserved. For Dundee, they're going to have to figure out a far better plan on how to try and work their way into the game and impose themselves and cause some problems, because as it stands, it looks like it could be more for the home side in the second half.
Thanks to Michael. Matthew's messaged in with a really good point about Dundee. I'll put that to Michael during second half of Open All Mics. Let's then get to Tannadice. What a start there. Dundee United at home to Falkirk. Let's get the half-time report from Alan Preston.
Well, it's half-time. It's Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2, and two goalkeeping mistakes by Kucherenko and the United goal given Falkirk what is a well-deserved lead. They should be more ahead, actually. In 4 minutes, Muller was played through onto his weaker right foot, hits a shot from the edge of the box. Kucherenko goes down, he should have saved it, he knocks it out. Muller following in on his own shot, scores. Muller then had a free kick tipped away by Kucherenko, but in 22 minutes it was an absolute disaster once again for the keeper. It was a corner coming in at the near post, in-swinger from Muller. Kucherenko, under no real pressure, punches into his own goals for 2-0. Since then, Wilson had a volley just wide. Williams then had a shot just wide as well. For Dundee United, it was Savage with a shot and Fata had a header off the bar, but they've never really been in it, Dundee United. I expect changes at half-time. Falkirk have been brilliant. Dundee United woeful. Half-time score, Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2.
Thank you to Alan Preston. Next stop, Rugby Park, Kilmarnock at home to Motherwell. Let's hear from Billy Dodds.
Yeah, Motherwell lead at the break, but it was Kilmarnock had a couple of chances in that first half but couldn't capitalise, and then Motherwell was going on to dominate. They started better, but it was Kilmarnock, as I said, 9th minute. Good move. Kilty into the box, 2 or 3 passes, an angled shot with his left foot, and the goalkeeper, Callum Ward, got his hand on it to beat it away. But then Kenny took control, 10 minutes, so we're 1-0 up. Longello down the left, as he does, cross into the box deep, and Maswanisi was at the back post with a toe poke, but Thompson, the wing back, and Oguemi will be disappointed with their defending as well. And just before the half hour mark, it was 2-0. A well worked corner, you have to say, played in, flicked out the edge of the box. Maswanisi again waiting on it, thumped the first effort, it was blocked, but the second came and he lashed it high into the net for his and Motherwell's second. They could have gone 3-0 up as well, and Oguemi made a great save from Slattery after more good play from Motherwell. They were really in control now. And Kilmarnock, the fans weren't happy, but they had a chance to get back in it just before half time. David Watson won the ball in midfield, strode forward and hit a shot from about 18 yards, should have hit target but blazed it over the crossbar. Half time at Rugby Park, Motherwell dominating, and the natives not particularly happy. It's Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2.
So in the top flight, Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2, Hibs 1, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 2, Rangers 1, Livingston 1, 8 o'clock start in Paisley, full coverage to come, St Mirren at home to Celtic. Let's get into the Championship. I mean, surely game of the day at Firhill. Chick Young is here for us. What's happening, Chick?
That's what was promised and that's what's been delivered, I think, so far. Kenny, half-time scoreline, joy for Partick Thistle. It's a tale of Perth. Wind and fire from Partick Thistle this afternoon. 2-0 ahead they are at the break, and that puts some 3 points behind as we stand. St Johnstone at the top of the table, and they have a game in hand. Astonishing, they were ahead after just 5 minutes. Danny O'Reilly, ball came in from the right hand side, a group of players went for it and he shelled it into the back of the net, and then just almost with the last kick, I think, of the first half, into time added on, Tony Watt with a lovely left foot drilled shot right along the ground. It went. I had a great view of it in beyond the St Johnstone goalkeeper, and again Thistle secure, and a standing ovation from the supporters as they went in at half time. Big crowd inside Firhill this afternoon, 1,300 fans making their way down from Perth to watch this. It's a big lead, and I can't say victory yet because we know the St Johnstone team are very capable. I see over there substitutes getting called in. There are going to be changes for Simo Valakari at the start of this second half, without a shadow of a doubt. He'll want more from his team, but what a scoreline that echoes throughout the Championship. Thistle really nailing it to the mast that they are determined to go ahead and win this championship and get themselves into the top division of Scottish football. Half-time scoreline then in Maryhill and Glasgow is Partick Thistle 2, St Johnstone 0.
And just in case anyone missed it, it was Perth, wind and fire. The reference there from Mr. Chick Young.
Depressingly, he's looking at us like, what are you talking about? what is that a reference to?
Just as though it was genius.
Depressingly young, Rory.
It was genius. Right, next stop, East End Park, and Fernand against Gannett Morton. Willie Miller.
Yeah, quite an entertaining game here, Kenny, and after the first 15 minutes, which was relatively even, but very little chances. The chance was created, and it came for the home side. The goal was scored by Charlie Gilmore. It was Robbie Fraser really making the headwind down the left hand side. A really excellent run and a fabulous cross into the box, a little bit of curl on it, and there was Charlie Gilmore, who left the defenders for dead. Nobody near him at all. A good 2-3 yards between him and the back four as the cross came in. It was quite a deep cross as well, and he takes it with a forehead, and it's an intelligent header as well. Didn't go for power, went for position, and he just guided it into the far corner to give it at that stage Dunfermline a well-earned lead. They had another opportunity, a good chance a little bit later on down the other side of the park. It was Matty Todd down the right, and he looks up and he picks out Barney Stewart, and Barney Stewart coming in from the 18-yard line, working towards the penalty spot. For me, he should have scored. Listen, it's a good save, there's no doubt about that. It's a good save by Storer in goal, but at the same time it should have been the second. It wasn't. And then on the break, and it's been on the break after that first 15 minutes for Morton. Adeloy had two great opportunities through just the goalkeeper to beat an angle. The first one was an angle, as I said earlier. He just didn't know what to do with it. He just let the ball run back to the goalkeeper. The second one was a better save, tussled with the centre back. He managed to get possession. The goalkeeper came out, made a really good stop as he tried to drill it low. Perhaps if he'd had a little bit more composure and given it a bit of air, he might have found the back of the net. He didn't. That's why at half time it's Dunfermline 1, Morton 0.
Thank you to Willie Miller. So in the Championship, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 1, Arbroath 0, Wraith Rovers 0, Dunfermline 1, Morton 0, Partick Thistle 2, St Johnstone 0 in League 1, Cove Rangers 0, Alloa Athletic 0, Hamilton Accies 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 2, East Fife 1, Peterhead 0, Stenhouse Muir 1, 5:30 start, Inverness Cally Thistle are at home to Queen of the South. In League 2, Clyde 1, Annan Athletic 0, Dumbarton 1, Forfar Athletic 3, East Kilbride 1, Edinburgh City 1, Spartans 0, Stranraer 4, Stirling Albion 0, Elgin City 0. We've been asking for your voice notes today. We need your name and your point. 08085 92 95 00, 08085 92 95 00. Get your WhatsApp voice notes in. Here's another.
Hi, it's Ryan Stevenson calling from Edinburgh, just out for a walk at the minute, listening to Sports Sound, and Al Lamont commentary making me well up a bit. What a night that was. Game kicked off. I was watching the game with my 3 boys when McTominay scored the overhead kick. My 2 lads jumped on me and I fell, and my youngest son, he ended up at the bottom of a massive pylon. Came out looking a bit peely-wally, and the poor wee guy couldn't last any longer. I had to take a dose of Calpol and then head off to bed, so he missed the rest of the game. Major FOMO for him when he woke up and found out the result the next day. My other laddie, Jamie, and I were watching the game. He's a massive jambo, so when Shanklin scored, pure elation, tears rolling down his cheeks. I was hugging him. Then when Tierney scored, tears rolling down both our cheeks, hugging each other. And when McLean scored, taps half, tears everywhere. Absolutely sensational. Well done, Scotland. Made us so proud. Can't wait for June. Cheers, lads.
And you know what? That's what football does to us. It just stirs emotions. A brilliant story there from Ryan from Edinburgh. And keep them coming in, your voices. We can play them out actually later in the programme. I obviously can't do it during open mics, but we've got the opportunity tonight between 5:30 and 7 o'clock. We can get them out when we get the fans on. So if you want to get your voice in, 08085 92 95 00, your name, your team and your points. So choice of listening once again on sports and full commentary of Rangers against Livingston. That's on BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 Media Wave and extra on BBC Sounds. For open all nights, tune to 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds, and both are live online, bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Sports Sound.
That is a beautiful finish!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Ibrox Stadium in Glasgow. The floodlights are on, and also on is Bojan Majowski. He's replaced Talo Asgard as we're underway at the start of the second half. And the ball gets launched low by Livingston, who'll come from right to left as we watch Livingston in the amber and black, in the amber jersey with the black shorts. Rangers in the traditional home blue, white shorts, black socks, topped off with red, attacking left to right towards the Copeland stand. The Union Bears gathered in by the goal of Jerome Prior. Rangers gather one apiece, and it's pushed out wide. Ross Hardy is the man in charge. And Rangers being forced backwards by Livingston at the moment. I'm Paul Mitchell, delighted to have your company. Richard Foster also alongside me. No great surprise that Rangers went for the bench at half-time.
No, I think that, they're just trying to add a fresh impetus. I don't think Asgard done much in the game. He was largely anonymous. We didn't really speak about him. Looking at your note, to be fair, on your notes, you haven't really noted anything. There's nothing much happened in the game, but yeah, they needed to do something. But there's just a little moment there between the two centre-backs where I think it's Fernandez passes to Giga, and then Fernandez is almost orchestrating, not looking at the ball. Giga gives him the ball back. It rolls past them. Sorry, Paul.
Tavernier with a cross. Majowski off target with a header, but you could see that he wanted to make that run by the near post. It was always going wide.
But look at Tavernier's position. He's high and wide in the pitch in the first delivery. Majowski, who makes that run really well and probably should do better. A player of his quality. I know he's lacking a bit of form of late, but he should do better with that. But again, Tavernier high and wide, cross the ball into the box.
That's what we've come to expect from Rangers, but not in the first half. Raskin gathers, plays the ball out wide. Mahoma gathers. Rangers are Butler in goal. It's the back foot of Tavernier, De Giga, Fernandez, Mahoma, Raskin, Diamondi sitting. It's Antman, Danilo, Gassama, and now Majowski is the focal point up front. It's been a hard-working Livingston side at the moment. I'll run you through them in just a second, but Rangers trying to attack down that left-hand side, left to right as we watch in the main stand here at Ibrox. It's gathered by Fernandez. De Giga has a little look. De Giga moving forward, gets away from Yengi, then stopped, and Yengi tackled him, and Stevie May gathers the ball, played out wide onto this near side. Macaulay Tate, second loan spell from Hearts, he loses out to Tavernier, somehow then manages to get the ball back and plays it back to Danny Wilson.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was looking for the defender to overlap him there, Macaulay Tate. I think he just wanted a pass, and he does well initially.
That'll push by Yengi on Fernandez, and Rangers will get a free kick inside the centre circle, inside their own half. So Livingston have Prior in goal. It's a back three today of Silla, Finlayson, who I think's been great, and Wilson, Lowell out, Montano either side. So Pittman and Tate, May trying to support Teddy Yengi, but May has been all over the place, mainly coming in from that left-hand side. But I think, Richard, you called it in the first half, he's been watching where Tavernier's been going.
Yeah, and I think in the first half, Tavernier made his job easy because he was playing narrow in the pitch, so Stevie May was just able to stay in that inside channel position and not really have to do too much. Already in the second half, Tavernier's higher and wider, and Stevie May's actually having to move as he flies into a tackle there.
Danilo can't hold on to the ball. Raskan, it fell for him round the corner. Antman, Danilo made the advancing run, but it couldn't be picked out. Back to Raskan, on to Antman, 30 yards from goal, drifting on the inside. Silla reads that. Susuzo will gather and try and flick it out wide. Teddy Yengi had made his run and then turned back and then realised the ball had been delivered. I was going to say, I like Stevie May as a player, but I'm not convinced as a man marker. It's really his gig.
No, it's not, but he's just an intelligent football player, so you think he'll occupy a good space. I think they're obviously thinking if they get forward and they hold the ball up, you can bring that attacking threat up there alongside Yengi. I think sometimes they look for Yengi a bit too soon. You called it there. He's actually in the middle of his run there, and the ball's already on the way. And I think sometimes, Livingston have got good players in the middle of the pitch that can pass the ball, so I think they need to do that a little bit more.
Rangers try and get the ball in from that left-hand side, but one bounce into the arms of the Frenchman Prior, who gathers ever present this season. Gets the ball away, one apiece, 49 minutes gone at Ibrox. Teddy Yengi brings that ball down, sends it round the corner to Law trying to get away from Gassama, has to do a little hitch, comes back, rolls the ball back to Suso. Back on to Silla. Silla will take a touch, move up to the halfway line, playing in defence, but a midfield player's got a lovely pass about him, flicks that over the top onto Yengi. The flag stays down, and Yengi has the ball taken away from him. Fernandez felt that was going to be offside, but the flag of Douglas Ross did not go up.
No, I don't. I think Pittman was off, but I'm not sure Yengi was. I think he timed his run much better. I think Pittman's run allowed made the Rangers defence drop, and that allowed Yengi to be onside.
Scott Tiffany's pulled one back for Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 2. It's Dundee United 0, Falkirk 2. And Hibs leading Dundee by 1-0. The throw into the area. Fernandez heads it away. Livingston have players queuing up trying to get it. Lawwell plays it into the middle. Yengi wins the header. Up and wide it goes. But again, they're winning these opportunities, and that is concerning from a Rangers perspective.
Yeah, and you can hear that every single time Rangers don't make the first contact in the box, it makes the fans nervous, and that then filters back onto the pitch. And I can understand the fans worry because they don't look confident. Fernandez, we've seen him at the start of the game, wins a brilliant header in the Livingston box and goes and scores a great goal, but he's not been that commanding in his own box. You'd like him to go and just go and power through and go and win the ball, but he doesn't look like he has the confidence that he started the game with, and like I say, it's just, I think the Rangers fans are getting nervous.
Certainly not enjoying it. There's a spattering of Livingston fans across to our left-hand side under the main board, down at the apex of the Sandy Jarman and Brimlode stands. Now Rangers come forward. Raskan tries to hook the ball out wide. Nice pass, but it's not controlled well, and it's taken away once more by Pittman. Launched long again towards Teddy Yengi. Drops back onto Macaulay Tate. Tate onto Yengi. Holds the ball in, tries to get away from Fernandez. Goes down, and I think he showed a really good body shape to the referee to say he was being fouled.
Absolutely fantastic striker play. He's up there on his own. He's against two defenders 95% of the time, and he just gets his body in. He's strong, he takes a good touch. Fernandez can never win that ball there, so just let him take the touch, but he wants to try and fight him, and let's be honest, Yengi's up for the battle, he's up for the fight, because he's probably as strong, if not stronger than both the centre backs, and he'll be enjoying his game today.
Never made it with Ipswich, but he's on the ball now. Teddy Yengi cuts on the inside, beats the second man, and Rangers managed to get there and knock the ball away. Makoma now comes up towards the halfway line and played up high in the air by Pittman. Ziga wins the header, headed back again by Tate. Montano, well, he's limping just that little bit. He was hoping he could flick the ball onto Teddy Yengi. Comes all the way through to Jack Butler, the Rangers goalkeeper.
You see there, Tavernier's got the ball, Montano's limping. Just play the ball down the side and let Antman run onto it. You're dragging Danny Wilson across to create space, but it's just a slow jog forward with the ball, allow Livingston to get set, and then it just becomes a phase of play with possession, and you go nowhere.
It's not looking good from a Rangers perspective. They started just that little bit sloppily at the start of the second half. Rangers battling with Livingston. Remember, Rangers and Hibs coming into today on 18 points. Hibs currently leading Dundee by 1-0. Kieran Bowie, the Scotland striker. Ball is wide on that left-hand side, the far side as we watch. Back onto Raskan. Raskan plays it on to Antman. Antman has a little look, tries to go past Sususo. And it drops on the inside and has to play the ball all the way back to the halfway line. Giga on the inside onto Fernandez. Sususo trying to close him down again. Back onto Jack Butland it goes. Butland then plays it forward for Raskan. And all that's done is waste a lot of time from a Rangers perspective.
Yeah, I think there was actually a real opportunity there for Macaulay Tate to press up on Raskan and not give Jack Butland an out ball. But when he does, midfielders who receive the ball beyond the line of pressure and then take their touch back to the safe side, that's why fans get annoyed. Raskan should just stand where he is, receive it on the back foot and turn and go and play forward, because he's in loads of space, because Macaulay Tate decided not to go with him. And that's why Rangers fans get frustrated, because it slows the game down.
Worked a little 1-2. Raskan, Antman outside the box, right hand side, cross into the middle. Finlayson again gets out a big right boot at it and knocks it out of play on this near side. Rangers will have a throw through Tavernier.
If there's something that sums up the Rangers' performance, is Antman allowing the ball to go out for a throw instead of actually getting it back to your feet and going to play. But you see there, they increase the tempo, quick 1-2 with Raskan, and it creates an opportunity to put the ball in the box.
Antman trying to keep the ball on his right foot, runs across the area, brings the ball back onto Tavernier outside the box, laid back onto Raskan. Raskan back onto Tavernier. Tavernier tries to play it for Diamondi. Pittman closes him down, and Law will complete the challenge on that far side. Overruns it though. Diamondi wins it. It's McHomer looking to get the ball into the middle. Needs a decent cross. Majowski won that really well, and it breaks back off Finlayson. Finlayson hits it off Majowski. It breaks behind him and right into the arms of his goalkeeper.
Yeah, but you look at Rangers there from Tavernier comes in the pitch and he's only got a square pass. I think the midfielder needs to actually give a bit of depth so there's an angle in the pass, because then it goes square pass, another square pass, and Law's unlucky because he nips in ahead of, I think it was Gassama or Magoma possibly, and it's just, you know, there's no fluency to Rangers, there's no imagination to their play, there's no depth to their play, there's no movement. Everyone just kind of stands and asks for the ball to feet and right in front of them. Something needs to change. There needs to be a spark of energy, or maybe that can come from the bench, because right now Livingston look relatively comfortable.
Just looking down that Rangers bench to see where such a spark could come from. Here's Tavernier, long on the angle, brings the ball down at the edge of the area, nicely done through onto Danilo. He's dispossessed though. Montano gets it away once more, up to the halfway line. Raskan recovers, Antman will flick it back onto Dejiga knocks it out wide onto McHoma, standing just to the left of the centre circle. And again, Rangers are almost stopping themselves.
I'm telling you now, Gassama doesn't want the ball. He doesn't want the ball. He's standing out. The ball's on the right hand side, he's out wide. When the ball's in the middle of the pitch, he's in the middle of the pitch. He's round the wrong way. Now, right now, he should be in as almost a second, as a 10 behind Danilo. Now, as it's going out to the left hand side, go right. He's there now. Get yourself on the touchline, but there just doesn't seem any great desire from him to get the ball, which is strange, because in that early part of the first half, he was their main danger. You see there again another slack pass. The Rangers, in my opinion, need to change something, because this is currently not working.
Rangers 1, Livingston 1, 57 minutes gone. BBC Radio Scotland Sports Sound on a Saturday afternoon under the lights at Ibrox. Here comes Diamondi, 30 yards from goal. Gathers, pushes it out wide. That man is there, attacking the edge of the box, comes back, he's onto his left foot, clips it across. Finlayson again gets the header away, breaks to Raskan. Raskan moves it out wide. McComa back onto Raskan. Raskan tries a little clip looking for Diamondi, the header back across goal, and again Finlayson is there to head it out of play, out of the box, and it's going to be a throw in to Rangers. They gather again. Diamondi back onto Raskan. Raskan looking to get that ball into the middle. Danny Wilson scoops down to get the header away. Breaks back on towards Teddy Yengi, and Rangers have to go back all the way to the keeper.
You see there that Antman gets the ball, and Diamondi makes that run that's so fashionable now, that little run in the channel behind the wing back, and all it does is kill Antman's space. Antman in the first half was going 1v1, he was getting past his man, he was putting deliveries in the box. Now he sees that Diamondi runs into his space, so he comes inside and he floats in a left-footed cross, and it comes to nothing. Whereas you've got a winger who's good 1v1, let him go 1v1, leave the space for him and just back him up.
The innocent face of David Martindale has just been booked because he kicked the ball that was out of play back into play to mean there was 2 balls on the pitch at the same time. He can plead his innocence, I'll tell you what, he wasn't.
I don't mind that. The dark arts, Paul, we don't see them that often, but that's yeah.
Well, he was smiling, he'll take the card. Here's the opportunity now for Rangers to come forward down that far side. Mahoma gets it in. Pittman got a touch on it, headed away by Wilson, breaks to the edge of the area. Raskan struggling. Sususo tries to wrap his foot round. He's done so. Gets it on to Stevie May. May gathers. Yengi has to come back on side before he can make a run. So it'll be to Samson Law. Law, was he taken down? He was. And a card is going to come out as well. He was away. There was no doubt about that. He was away. McCormack will see the first card.
And you know what, I think it's actually a good one to take, you know, because they're on the attack there. They had 4 up. Livingston Rangers were charging back at, you know, Magoma. I don't think he knows it because it's all, everything's happening behind him, but I think that'll turn out to be a good free kick because Livingston were in a promising position there. But again, it comes from Rangers being so narrow. They're trying these little tiny passes, and that's what Livingston are waiting for. They're waiting to turn the ball over and steal it. I think it's Pittman gets a bit lucky in the middle of the pitch, and before you know it, Livingston have now got a free kick and they can put a ball into the box.
Macaulay Tate needs some attention, so the Livingston physio will come on to give him just that. I'm with you. I would have taken that as a fullback. You would take the card there because of the danger it presented. Well, you're 50-50, isn't it? If you do it properly, you might not get the card against you.
Yeah, if you time it right and you win the tackle, then great. But I think he needs to stop the game at that point, whether that's by a tackle to put the ball out for the throw or whether it's giving away a free kick. I don't think there's because Law's got the run on him. He's probably going to get a ball into the box. And like I say, with the 3 Rangers players, the 3 Livingston players charging back into the box, the ball can then go anywhere. So I think it was a good foul to give away, and it's almost a perfect one because there's no, it's not a malicious one, it's not a bad one, it's just that he's tripped the guy. So take the yellow card, hopefully defend the free kick, and then you move on.
Ryan McGowan about to come on for Livingston. I mean, I'll ask you this from both perspectives again, because you've played for Rangers and against Rangers. You're playing in a Rangers team, it's one apiece, but you're not playing well. You do start to feel the fans. How much do you feel that?
You do feel it, the same way that they bring loads of energy. I think it has to be reciprocal, though. You have to go out on the pitch and give them something to cheer about, and then when they cheer you back and they get loud, and you can feel that, and it makes you feel really, really good. But at the same time, I think the Rangers fans are well within their rights to almost ask the players to, like, will you go and entertain me, go and do something to entertain me, and at the moment they're not. From a Livingston perspective, that's great, because you can also hear the fans and they're getting on at them. Keep going. It's a high line, that, Paul.
It's very high. It's about 6 yards outside the 18-yard box. Now the free kick gets delivered. Yengi tried to get on ahead of things. The ball is knocked away. Sususo tries the shot. It's wide in the end. That's one of the highest lines I think I've ever seen a team defend.
Yeah, I think it just gives the Livingston free kick take a lot of space. There's a lot of margin for error there because of the line so high. I'm not saying they need it deeper into the box, but I think possibly edge of the box, maybe 18, 19 yards would have been fine there, but to be almost 23, 24 yards seemed ridiculous to me.
What I love about this game is you see things still that you've never seen before. Rangers are unbeaten in 25 matches, all competitions, against Livingston at home. They've won 22, drawn just 3 of them. Can Livingston find a way through this afternoon, or can Rangers get their free kick? And well, they can plead all his innocence, but Montano was certainly pushing on against Ampman, blocked off the run. He's booked, and Rangers have a free kick, always in a similar position out wide on this right hand side where they cause problems.
Yeah, and it just comes from that injection of pace. It just comes from Ant-Man taking a couple of quick touches, dropping the ball off and making a run in behind. Tavernier plays a pass, and Montano's done. He's beat it, so he has to foul him because otherwise Ant-Man's in behind him. But it's just that every time Rangers increase the pace, increase the tempo, they can cause problems, but they're too slow too often.
Just trying to see who's got Emmanuel Fernandez here, because it's not really an assignment that you'd want. I think it's Danny Wilson that was up against him, as it was last time. He's running off trying to block. Tavernier plays the ball in, it bounces over everybody's head and breaks out wide for Ryan McGowan, who pushes it down the line. Sususo going to try and take on Makoma, and I think he takes him down. Does he? The referee is right there, yes.
Oh. Nah, not for me. That looks like he's maybe stood on him afterwards. He's hurt, but I just thought that was Makoma got there first, knocked out for a throw, and the player just runs into him. And Tanya's down as well.
Yeah, he's had a couple of problems in the game. I'm wondering if he's for much longer. Bairami is about to come on. I will be stunned if it's not the change that we've already potentially mentioned. So we shall see if that's the opportunity. He is getting ready, but Livingston, Montagne's stayed down. He is hurt. Here's the change. It is Oliver Antman, and he gets the opportunity. 2 sub appearances in his last 5. His last start came against Brann, but if he's, well, these are the chances if he wants to establish himself as a Rangers player. He's got to take.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, where I feel for Antman here is Antman looks to me at the moment more lively than Gassama, but we've seen Gassama produce, you know, fantastic little bits of individual quality, a few fantastic goals. So you can understand why Gassama stays in the pitch. But you know, in the last little bit there, it was Antman that injects the pace. You know, I think it looks like Gassama's coming over to the right, is he? But he doesn't look happy about it. He doesn't look like he's moving that well. I mean, not that I would have done this as a player, Paul, because I wasn't like that, but I'd have been kicking that sore leg all game.
Yeah.
You know, take any advantage you can get. So he just, I mean, if you look at his body language here, he doesn't look like he's overly enthused about coming over to the right hand side.
What's also interesting is, I think it was Nasser Dejiga was coming across and talking to him, and he was always being almost dismissive of him as well. That's not a good sign either. Change is coming, and it is Andrew Shinnie who will come on. Well, I'll tell you what an experienced player you've got to come on the field, and Andrew Shinnie.
Yeah, it looks like they've put Finlayson to right back, and they've put Lowell to left back. They've obviously just got Lowell to play against Gassama the whole game.
So he's slotted in and having to make that change. Shinnie now in the midfield. Teddy Yengi remains the forward player for Livingston. Livingston and Rangers, 1 apiece on BBC Radio Scotland on a Saturday afternoon. Here comes Mo Diamonde making a run into the area, knocked away by Ryan McGowan. 1 or 2 claims from behind the goal for a penalty. I can tell you Richard Foster is shaking his head. It's the same reaction I had here.
You know what, he takes a fantastic touch, but I think he's just, from that point on, he's always slightly off balance, because obviously you know, he's running at full speed, and nothing in that for me. But I tell you what, Finlayson at that right wing back now gives him a real out ball, because obviously we've seen him in the middle of the pitch and he done really, really well at the centre of that back 3. But now on that right hand side, he'll have the licence to bomb forward when Livingston turn the ball over.
Here's the opportunity for Gassama. First time from that right hand side. Plays it through onto Danilo. Danilo at the edge of the box. 3 Livingston jerseys round him, and it's hooked away by Shinnie. Falkirk have scored again at Tannadice. Falkirk 3, Dundee United 0. That the scoreline of the day. Hibs have scored again as well. Motherwell have also scored, so the goals falling in. Motherwell now leading Killie by 3-1. Hibs leading Dundee by 2-0. Rangers and Livingston 1 apiece. Now the ball gets clipped forward. And solid headed away by Silla.
Just wondering if Masson Hisey got his hat trick.
No. Stamilopoulos will net on that one. He's a good player as well. Motherwell do have goals in their team. Now the ball gets played out wide. Makoma trying to gather again. His second goal scorer was Jamie McGrath. 2 goals in this one, and a fixture that normally averages a heck of a lot more, and usually in the way in the blue of Rangers. The ball into the area, knocked behind by Finlayson. It will be a Rangers corner, and Fernandez and Dejiga will both come up from the back for this one. 67 minutes gone. Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
And this looks like Rangers' best opportunity, you know, set plays, because they've not really created anything from open play in the second half.
So Jerome Prior, all in pale green with a black trim, stands, arms up, the ball comes in, Silla gets the header away, manages to get it outside the area. Makoma tries the drive, and the reaction and the boos you can hear around tell you exactly where that landed. I'll tell you, it was the Copeland stand.
I remember doing that when I was down at Bristol City, and the next day we were in and we were doing analysis of the game, and completely deadpan. Derek kind of said, Foz, I don't know when the last time you scored from 40 yards was, but please don't do that again.
Yeah, there are ways to convey a message. That was nice. Shinnie heads the ball forward, down onto Tavernier.
But your eyes light up. You think, why not shoot from here? But there's no way it's ever on to shoot from there. But then look at the goals we've seen in midweek. You know what I mean? Why is McTominay doing backflips in the box? Because he can hook the ball in the net and the bicycle kick. So if you don't take a shot, Paul, you can never score.
Very true. As Rangers come forward, one apiece, trying to get the ball low into the box. That was running through to the goalkeeper, but Ryan McGowan got in there, slid, and knocked it away. I think there was 50,000 people at Hampden saying to Kenny McLean, just keep the ball. You know, when he ran and then lobbed Schmeichel. That's been given away by Rangers, and Stevie May has got it, trying to get away from Tavernier. Teddy Yengi is the only man forward. May, he's going to hold up. Shinnie's made a terrific run in. Shinnie's first touch wasn't good enough. I'll tell you what, if it had been, Rangers were in trouble. Lawal has the ball as Rangers knock it away. What an opportunity. Here come Livingston again. They've got three forward. As Stevie May clips the ball round the corner into Shinnie, and again his first touch was awful. And I'm not sure what's wrong with Andrew Shinnie's first touch.
He needs to take his roller skates off.
That is two of the worst first touches back to back I think I've seen. Here's Nedum Bayrami. Bayrami moving forward now for Rangers. Plays the ball inside. An important touch. Breaks back to Majowski. Gassama on the overlap. Gassama cuts inside his man and sends it wide of the post. Real action, real drama at Ibrox. But Gassama had the opportunity, but he curled it wide.
He's got to just shoot. Majowski does so well. I thought it was on for Majowski to shoot on his left side. We've seen him score them for Aberdeen. You know what? He reversed a lovely little pass in and just go and put your foot through it. In fact, you could actually do anything you want there. You could side foot it either corner, or you could just absolutely go put your foot through it. Yeah, the chop looks great, but then you're on your weak foot. There's bodies in your way now, and what a wasted opportunity. But that comes after Livingston should have had a better opportunity. If Shinnie take his roller skates off, he'd have been in twice, and then obviously up the other end of the pitch. But it comes because Livingston are stretched, but Rangers move the ball quickly.
Tavernier under pressure from May. The referee's allowed play to continue. Teddy Yengi's gone through. Butland has to make a save with his feet by the penalty spot. Now the ball launched forward. Well, Teddy Yengi with a golden opportunity for Livingston, but he couldn't take it. Jack Butland was not to be beaten.
I'll tell you, it's not a foul. It's not a foul either, I think. Tavernier looks like he's possibly got a dead leg, but it's not a free kick.
There's Gassama out wide against Lawal. Outside the box he goes. He's trying to go on the outside on Lawal, trying to push him. Did he push him down? He did. And the card is going to come out as well. I think the first one was fine, the second one wasn't. I'm actually not convinced that the second one was needed.
No, I tell you what was needed was a save from Jack Butland, though.
Oh, brilliant.
Goalkeepers are judged on saves, but top goalkeepers make big saves at the right moment, and that was the right moment. Teddy Yengi, he's got to lift it over him, but Butland spreads himself so well. It's poor play from Rangers. Tavernier gets caught, he's off balance. Teddy Yengi bursts onto the ball and he's got to score. But credit to Butland because he's kept Rangers level in this game, and now they've got an opportunity to go and to possibly get themselves in front.
Livingston are going to make a couple of changes here. Okila is getting ready to come on. He'll replace Teddy Yengi, who scored at Ibrox. He'll be thrilled at that, but is he coming off the field? Richard thinking should have been two.
Absolutely. And what makes it more surprising is the quality of his first goal. You just fancy him, don't you? You just think he's going to knock that in and it's going to be 2-1 Livingston. But again, full credit to Jack Butland. Top goalkeeper, made an absolutely fantastic save there. He got a lot of he's had plaudits, but he got a lot of stick last season when he went through that spell of conceding soft goals. But I tell you what, he makes big saves.
And Stevie May is the other player to come off. He can get ready for his NFL viewing tomorrow night. Stevie May, big American football fan, and he'll wander back to the dugout. They've put in a shift up, both Yengi and May.
Oh, absolutely. Yengi's been fantastic. Top end of the pitch, real lone striker. Take the ball in, run the channels, make it difficult for two defenders, and that's get your goal. And he's done everything. He'll be coming off there disappointed, and yeah, he will. He should score, but he's played a huge part in Livingston's performance today.
So Tavernier, a yard outside the box. The ball is by the byline. Gets ready to play it in. Livingston have got everybody back. The run is made, and Tavernier went up to the ball, checked, and came back again. So everybody resets once more. Tavernier plays it in. Livingston get it away. That's a real sore one.
Yeah, he might be out cold here.
That is a sore one. And immediately all the play stopped. There are two players down at the moment. Both medical staffs come on. And the players realised immediately that there was a head collision.
I tell you what, it's an incredible defensive header from Silla there. It's unbelievable. I mean, he obviously gets caught and he takes a real nasty one, but that was a brilliant piece of defending. Brave, got to get there before the attacker. I just didn't like the way that he went down there, Paul, to be honest.
It was a terrific header, but he's on the turf. He's being attended to. There are going to be certainly stoppages. Let me run you through the scores from Scotland this afternoon. Dundee United 0, Falkirk 3. Calvin Miller, Yevhen Kusherenko with an own goal. That's his second in 2 games. Call me fussy, I prefer my goalkeepers not to put through their own net. We've not seen it. Brian Graham netting the third. Hibs leading by 2-0 against Dundee. Kieran Bowie and Jamie McGrath on the score sheet there. Kilmarnock are 3-1 down at home. Scott Tiffany did bring it back to 2-1, but Stamilopoulos has scored. Masson Hasey with a double. He's into double figures for the season. That's a good win for Motherwell should they see it out. And it's Rangers 1, Livingston 1. You're missing none of the action. It's Airdrieonians 0, Ayr United 1. Mark McKenzie after 19 minutes, but Marco Roos has been sent off for Ayr United. No goals. Arbroath against Wraith Rovers. Dunfermline, Charlie Gilmore's goal after 60 minutes has them 1 ahead of Greenock Morton, and St Johnstone have pulled a goal back. Josh McPake after 71 minutes after Daniel O'Reilly and Tony Watt had made it 2-1. So another couple of changes are being made. Just having a little check down. The scoreline that intrigued me at half time, and it still stayed the same. The Spartans 0, Stranraer 4, and the Spartans have been flying in that league. They beat East Kilbride a couple of times, who are also challenging. But it looks like it's going to be Junior Robinson, who's on loan from West Ham, who's going to have to come on. He's an interesting player. It's always interesting when you get guys coming up from down south, just on the sort of fringes. You know, West Ham don't tend to take in bad players. And it'll be interesting to see, because it's also a bit of a culture shock for them to come into this atmosphere.
You know, a lot of players from England come up and struggle because it's an intense environment up here. The game's quick. You know, you have to defend your box a lot when you're playing for a side like Livingston, especially when you come to Ibrox in the last 15 minutes. We expect Rangers to be really pushing for this second goal. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can cope. He certainly doesn't look as big as Silla, that's for sure. So I don't know if he's going to go into the centre of the defence or where he's going to play. But it's good to see Silla's up and moving, certainly. But yeah, I would imagine he still has to come off the pitch.
Change coming. Well, they're checking with the physios. They do want to make that change, and they're going to have to. It's always safety first, and Mo Silla, who's had a terrific game, gives way to debut for Junior Robinson. So the young man on loan from West Ham enters at Ibrox and enters with his side 1 apiece with Rangers. And there's a whole lot still to come in this next 15 minutes.
He's gone to right wing back. Finlayson's moved into the back 3 again, and McGowan is in the middle with Danny Wilson to the left.
Just one scoreline that's caught the eye from England. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 2. And things not quite going the way of Arnie Slotsman.
You know, when you hear Andy Robertson's interview after the Scotland game on Tuesday, I don't think we can underplay the impact that losing a teammate and a friend can have on a squad of players. You know, yeah, they've not played well. They're not anywhere near the team they were last year. But I just don't think we can underplay that, because that must be such a difficult. I mean, you see how emotional Andy Robertson was. It made me emotional watching it, thinking about that situation. So I think Arne Slot's team just need to get through this season, and hopefully they can build beyond it, because it's tough for them.
Rangers and Livingston 1 apiece here. The ball gets played forward by Rangers, but repelled again by Livingston. The men from West Lothian are doing a good job trying to frustrate Rangers even more. Have to come all the way back. As it stands, Rangers would move on to 19 points. They'll be joined there by Falkirk. And the long ball played through. Goalkeeper doesn't come. Well, he got wiped out by Majowski. The ball comes through. The offside flag is up. I think the goalkeeper was hoping that the flag would go up, and Majowski went right through him.
I'd like, you know, that's one that undoubtedly Majowski must go. He has to go for that ball. But the way the game's, you know, refereed him now for the safety of the players, he did look like he was quite high with the tackle. I wonder where he caught the. I mean, he looked offside initially, and you always wonder about these, don't you? That if he was offside, then just give it, because obviously he's now went into a 50-50 with the goalkeeper. But It looked like he caught a sore one there, the goalie, but he's lucky because Miofsky wanted that one more, I think.
Diamondi knocked the ball into the net, but they are going to check for the disallowed goal. But every player on the field has decided to walk up to the halfway line knowing that the free kick is going to come. So unless there's something that we've not seen, this should be a fairly quick check. But they are checking all the same. And it's up on the big screen on that far side. Rangers 1, Livingston 1.
I mean, I thought Miofsky was off initially, but I think Diamondi is definitely off when Miofsky touches it.
Well, Raskan is having conversation. It's Ryan McGowan, the Aussie, that goes across to have a little word. Well, VAR are still checking. It is John Beaton and Cole. So we will see what comes of this. One or two players coming over for a little drink. Remember, coming up tonight on Sports Sound, St Mirren against Celtic is live from Paisley.
Well, the goal has been given. Well, much to the disbelief of these Livingston players, Diamondi had carried his way through, slid the ball into the back of the net, and somehow it's Rangers 2, Livingston 1, and there was not a soul on that field that expected that to be given.
I tell you what, there's so much. There's the Miofsky is the offside, there's then the challenge itself, there's then so clearly Miofsky and Diamondi can't be offside, but the challenge itself looked like it was high and dangerous. I tell you what, that is I need to see it again, Paul. I need to see it again, but for me it looked like that was a surefire disallowed goal.
I just was surprised that the way Prior didn't come for the ball. It's as if he thought, well, he's offside, I'm not going to challenge, and he actually gets wiped out for it. But Rangers are ahead, and Livingston have it all to do again. And another talking point for the sports scene highlights tonight. Diamondi's gone down.
Yeah, we don't have the benefit of seeing that again, and clearly they've thought, I mean, in my opinion, they got one wrong in the first half. You would like to think they got that one right. It took them a while. We didn't hear them talking. There was nothing there. He's definitely onside. So they must have felt that Miofsky's challenge wasn't a foul. But I'm pretty sure if that tackle happens in the middle of the pitch, it's a free kick.
Yep, don't disagree with that. 10 minutes to play. Goalkeeper has to come racing out of his goal as Rangers launch it long. Law will get it from his goalkeeper. Plays the ball inside onto Shinnie. Back onto Law. Livingston this season have specialised in coming from behind to get a point. Sususo was caught. That's a free kick. Play it forward. Well,
yeah, again, it's a good free kick, that one, because Livingston had two players over on the right hand side.
And Raskan kicked the ball away. In fact, it wasn't Raskan, it was Bayrami. He kicked the ball away, so that will be a yellow card for him.
You think of Yengi's miss now, or Butland's save, sorry?
Well, it's on small margins that games tend to swing. And Bayrami taking that booking. Livingston, Shinnie plays it into the middle, takes a bounce and goes all the way behind. You think about the Andrew Shinnie chance as well. I mean, he went through.
Yeah,
the first touch was just awful.
Yeah, Livingston have been better than Rangers in the second half. They've looked more dominant. Rangers have had more of the ball, but they haven't really looked threatening until there's Miofsky again. I mean, he does time that run very well.
Onside, outside the box, plays it into the middle, took a deflection, knocked away by Wilson. Then the flag does go up. It's been a busy afternoon for Dougie Potter and Douglas Ross. Well, we had the VAR feed in the first half. Unfortunately, it fell away in the second half, so we are unable to tell you the exact description as Max Allens is getting ready to come on for Rangers. He's been out the picture just that little bit under the new man. Nottingham Forest have scored again at Anfield, so they lead by 3-0 against Liverpool. Here, it's Rangers 2, Livingston 1. And Livingston will feel just a little bit hard done by, I suspect. But it's the home side who lead. Diamondi's with first goal since March against Celtic. Credited with a goal. Now plays the ball on the overlap. Into the middle it goes Wilson. Well, again, Miofsky's taken up some great positions. And the opportunity to play the ball forward again from Livingston. Robinson has to turn, play it back to the goalkeeper it goes, and across onto Danny Wilson.
I mean, the fact that the game's now open, Paul, has made it better to watch, certainly. But I don't think the goals are finished yet. I think there'll be another chance for at least for one of the teams.
Forward it goes. Fernandez went to ground, knocked it away. Robbie Muirhead. And Robbie Muirhead takes 2 steps back and falls over. I'm not quite sure what the Livingston players have been warming up that have come off the bench.
I feel from there, because he just can't adjust his feet. The ball's slightly behind him, he's moving forward. There's actually nothing he can do there, but it is funny to watch.
Change coming. Rehoma is off. And on will come Max Aarons. So off the bench for the 5th time this season. Comes on to a side that are leading by 2-1. Elsewhere, Dundee United 0, Falkirk 3, 6 to play in that one. Hibs 2, Dundee 0, Motherwell 3, at Kilmarnock 1. It's going to be a 6th defeat in a row for Killie, and Rangers 2, Livingston 1. We're slightly behind these other games as it stands. Finlayson wins it on the halfway line. Livingston, well, they've got attacking players there. Bokila, and that's where it goes. A good header by Dejiga, breaks down centre circle, won by Shinnie, knocked back by Sususo. Now inside their own half. Finlayson from Wilson, back onto McGowan. McGowan opens it up with a pass down the side. There's a little header inside looking for Muirhead, not connected, although Rangers take forever to gather. There's a little nudge in the back of Muirhead. Now the header comes back and the referee gives it for the other nudge in the back.
That is just not a free kick. It's just not a free kick. He doesn't, I don't like it when a player makes a back for another player and they fall awkwardly. You used to see it in rugby and they fall in it, but he doesn't do anything there. He just stands where he is. And I think, is it Giga? I think he just misjudges the flight of the ball. And for that to be given as a free kick, but when the one right before it, you rightly said, is not. I just, referees have a real tough job, I get that, but sometimes they make it more difficult for themselves.
Andy booked Robbie Muirhead for his reaction. Yep. Rangers 2, Livingston 1. Rangers have won the last 6 meetings. Livingston's last point against Rangers at Ibrox in October of 2022. But Rangers have found that breakthrough in the second half. We all presumed that the play had stopped for the foul or the offside call with Mo Diamondi. And looking back at it, did the right thing, put the ball in the back of the net and made sure.
Absolutely, absolutely, like I said. But then everyone's reaction, now we know that goals get checked by VAR, but even the Rangers players' reaction was, that'll be, he's either offside or they just didn't believe it was a goal, I don't think.
Shinnie plays it out wide. Yep, certainly the reaction didn't look like it. Here's Law coming down the side against Tavernier. Tavernier wins the tackle, knocked out of play. It's going to be a throw into Livingston. They look to get the ball in quickly. And Danny Wilson says, no, hang on. And the 3 wise men come up from the back, Messrs Wilson, McGowan and Finlayson. 2-1 Rangers lead.
They've also got obviously Aquila and Muirhead. They've got a fair side. I mean, if you look now, Paul, look, you can throw it right into Danny Wilson's feet, look.
It's available to him because Tavernier's right behind him. Now it comes in long. Tavernier actually wins that header. Second ball won by Rangers. Gassama, Law in behind him. Gassama does well to hold off. He'll play it back to Tavernier just outside his own box. He'll tumble the ball up to the halfway line, headed back by Pittman. Finlayson coming back, wins the header, flicked on by Muirhead, almost fell through to Bukila. And Rangers get the ball away, it hits off Gassama, and Martindale, the manager, manages to get the pass in to allow the throw to be taken quickly.
Yeah, it was actually quite a clever header from Muirhead because he had a little look to see if he could get the ball in behind. I just don't think he gets enough on it. If he gets that over the Rangers defender, I think Aquila's got an opportunity to run through. But good defending, actually, you have to say.
Ball spirals out of play from the back on that occasion from Livingston. 1 or 2 start to head for the X6, thinking Rangers have done enough. Rangers will be on European duty. You can hear those matches on BBC Radio Scotland. Rangers will play Braga. Celtic take on Feyenoord, Aberdeen take on Noah. As the ball gets dropped down, it was a long high ball inside the Rangers half, comes back to earth. Gassama has a look, that was going to no one, it got blocked. And Bokila, did he take down his man? He did, said the referee. And again, I think that's on the advice of the 4th official, because the referee was about to allow play to continue.
I'm not entirely sure what Aquila's meant to do there. Has 2 fouls given against him for simply standing there. Now, if the Rangers centre-half wants to go and charge into him and try and win the ball, Akila's more that he's allowed to stand his ground. He doesn't just use the fold like an accordion and allow the defender to go and win the ball. So just stop firing yourself out of cannon and you might stop landing awkwardly. Yeah.
Well, he's an interesting player. 4 goals in 12. Brought from Dutch football, Willem II.
Willem II.
Willem II, yes, to give it the Dutch. I think I've seen them play. As the ball gets played forward. Up to the edge of the area. Rangers gather, chance to come through. Gassama's ahead of his man. Gassama tries to flick it back. Lol. I thought Lol did well not to foul him there.
Absolutely, because Gassama does really, really well and probably does as much as he can do there. Judges the flick on really well, but good defending in the end.
Rangers are going to make a change. It's Lyle Cameron who is going to come on. So too is Connor Barron. So Rangers making their final changes. Well, Gassama leaves the field of play.
I find it really interesting the way the game's going, not this game but the game in general, because when have Rangers looked at the most dangerous? When they've got the ball forward and picked up second balls. So all the passes that they have, all the play, they don't do anything. When you make Livingston defend, you look like you can create a chance. Same the other way around. Livingston have made Rangers defend and they look nervous. I just find it interesting as a fan of football. I like to see goalmouth action. I like to see balls in the box and defending. And to be fair, we've had quite a lot of that today.
It's certainly been exciting. Hopefully you're enjoying all the action here on BBC Radio Scotland. Rangers 2, Livingston 1. Inside the final of the 90 minutes, there will be the board to be held up by 4th official George Calder. And then all the post-match reaction to come. The Rangers look like they're going to emerge with all 3 points. And the form of the new manager will continue. Well, to be fair to Rangers' most recent managers, they normally have won their first 4 league matches. The exception was Russell Martin, who won none and drew all 4. Connor Barron from Butland, that save we mentioned earlier from Teddy Yengi at 1-1, looming large in the thoughts, but I think it'd be very interesting. 8 additional minutes. Remember, Mo Silla was down for quite a while. Now the ball is launched long. Here's the opportunity for Rangers, taken down. It was a horrible first touch by Rangers, and Lyle Cameron got himself into the area, and that first touch just let him down.
But again, it's just that ball in behind the high Livingston line, and it causes problems. If you time your run well, which he did, you can cause other teams problems.
Rangers try to see this game out. 8 additional minutes. Suzuki
told
goes
you.
in.
I absolutely told you. That's the same tackle as a goal. That is the same tackle as a goal. Middle of the pitch, it's a booking.
Yellow card straight away. It was low. He kept.
I think yellow's right.
Yep.
But it's the same tackle, Paul. It's a slide when the ball's too far away from you, with the studs showing. Again, I'd need to see the Majowski one again because we don't have a good view of it. We haven't seen it a second time. But from my eye, it looks very, very similar.
Rangers 2, Livingston 1. The referee pops the card back in his pocket. It's interesting. That's why I love radio. You get one chance to see it, and the big screens never replay anything that's controversial. So we don't have that crutch to go back onto. I'm still amazed that there wasn't a foul given.
Yeah, me too. Now again, we probably doing this is akin to what the referees see, because they see it one time. Obviously with VAR is different now because they have the second view of it, but. So it is difficult. I mean, I know we're a bit further away than the referee, but it is difficult, and their job is not an easy one. And if VAR was used correctly, then it would help. But yeah, I said it at the time, if that tackle was made in the middle of the pitch as a free kick, and we just, in my opinion, was seen exactly the same tackle, and it was a free kick and a yellow card.
Time ticking away at Ibrox. 2 of the 8 minutes have gone. Raskin was fouling Muirhead, and the referee gives it. Muirhead saying, you're being too slow to give that decision because the ball was going backwards. There was no benefit for Livingston. Majowski stands in front of the ball.
It's funny though, because that, right, Raskin is brilliant from Raskin. He knows what he's doing, he's stopping the game. But those are the ones that are frustrating as a player, because he knows that he's stopping the game there, but he also knows he's not going to get booked for it. And it's clever play from him, but it's so frustrating as a player.
Yeah, it's not nice to be on the receiving end of. Rangers try to gather. Danilo loses out. Livingston gather, though the ball has to be played back to the goalkeeper. Prior gets it from Pittman, launches it long down that right hand side. Fernandez wins the header onto Bayrami. Bayrami just thumps the ball forward, forcing the goalkeeper to come to the edge of his box, and Gallery throws the ball down. 3 minutes of the added time have gone. Prior launches it long. The header was won, Bakila, and now knocked away by Tavernier. Back over the halfway line. Danny Wilson watches it come to earth. It took forever. Erskine in behind him. Wilson hooked it back to his goalkeeper. He has to play it on the volley and knock it out wide. He knocked it past Finlayson. Then Bayrami will gather. Rangers leading by 2-1. And trying to move the ball forward. Falkirk 3, Dundee United 0. Hibs 2, Dundee 0. Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 3. To come this evening, you have St Mirren against Celtic. All the action from Paisley. Now it's launched forward towards Lyle Cameron, taken down by Law. Push the ball back to his goalkeeper. He's going to take a touch inside his box and get it moving again. Muirhead up against Fernandez. Fernandez won it but sent it backwards. Bakila tries to knock it back off to Robbie Muirhead, but Muirhead can't get there. Lyle Cameron is gathered, played it back inside Tavernier. Tavernier on to Rascan. And now just launched long. In some games that I've watched Rangers over the years, you think, well, they'll see this out, no problem. It looks a little bit scary at the back for Rangers at the moment.
Yeah, I just think there'll be an opportunity for Livingston. They'll get one of these long balls, these flick-ons right, because I don't think Rangers have enjoyed it the whole game. They've got Muirhead on, who, if anything drops towards the edge of the box, he'll hit it, and he's got very, very good quality.
Okay, they tried to gather there, but it's over his head, over the head of Fernandez, and drops in to Jack Butland, and Butland will gather. Well, he's never lost against Livingston. Jack Butland had 4 clean sheets in 5 coming into today. That made a really vital save from Terry Yengi at 1-1. Rangers have the winning goal so far through Mo Diamondi's first of the season. Livingston may concede a corner. It's well kept in and touched away by the goalkeeper, having to go wide, and a good challenge on that far side. Conor Barron snapping in there to send the ball out of play.
I think this, I've not seen a lot of Livingston, but listening to, watching highlights and listening to David Martindale's comments, this almost sums up their whole season. They actually play well in games for large parts, and they deserve way more than they have been getting. Obviously it becomes an issue because they're bottom of the league and they need results and points on the board, but they don't look like a team that are at the bottom of the table. They look like a team who should be mid-table, but they're just not getting the results their performances have deserved.
Long sends the ball away. It's the first time I've seen them in the flesh as well. I've been actually more impressed than I thought I would be. Law had his jersey pulled, then taken down by Conor Barron.
That's a booking all day long. All day long it's a booking.
I agree. Well, the referee decided not to, and here comes a chance to get the ball into the box.
Martindale's asking the very same question.
It's difficult. I mean, we mentioned this for referees. It's all about opinion, where you're seeing the ball from, where you see the player. I think Marvin Andrews is calling for players to come out to this left-hand side. There's too many players gathered together. Andrew Shinnie plays the ball into the middle. It's headed back. There is Muirhead! Oh, up and over the bar. Brought it down beautifully. The technique was sublime, but he couldn't put it on target.
And if there's one person that they want, I just think it's too high for him. But if there's one player in that squad for that to fall to on his good foot, his left side, it's Muirhead. And you know what? He does ever so well. The technique's fantastic. I just think it's half a ball too high that he can't get over it enough. But he gets a fantastic connection. But I knew he'd get at least one shot in before he goes off.
And there was that chance. Under 90 seconds to play. Rangers 2, Livingston 1. The last of the Scottish Premiership matches to finish this afternoon. Aquila tries to get there, knocked away by Fernandez up to the edge of the area. The header was interesting from Finlayson. He's won almost everything today. Came off the side of the head to his goalkeeper. Prior launches it long. Tavernier wins the header.
The goalie's just rushed out there. He's got to do better with the kick.
He's got to go deeper. Here's Andrew Shinnie. Shinnie twists away from Majowski. Trying to find one final chance. McGowan plays it out wide. Robinson can't get there, but the ball will fall onto Robbie Muirhead, up against Bayrami. Bayrami got a touch, Muirhead trying to go round it, Bayrami won it and then got caught by the heel. Muirhead just touched him, and that was enough for him to go down, and that could be enough to see Rangers out.
Yeah, it's good defensive play from Bayrami, just gets his body in. I think Muirhead realised he's not going to run away from him, he's trying to get back onto his left side, but good position from Bayrami, and earns a free kick, and that's probably the game.
Rangers have got an awful lot of work to do still, when you look at them.
Yeah, I've not really seen much today at all other than the full-backs going into the middle of the pitch. That's all we've really seen in terms of a style of play, but I just don't think it worked, and you've seen at the start of the second half they've changed that already.
It's all over at Ibrox. The two managers shake hands, the players exchange pleasantries, but it's a second half goal from Mo Diamondi that comes with a fair bit of controversy. David Martindale is making his way towards the referee. We'll keep an eye on that for a moment or two. First half goals, Emmanuel Fernandez after 9 minutes, Terry Yengi after 18. The handshakes are coming from the Livingston players, and here's David Martindale. He's standing and he's gesticulating with the referee at the moment. He walks away, and basically, well, if I decided to tell you what he just said, I wouldn't broadcast again. You can understand his frustration.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about in the first half the possible penalty that should have been. We'd need to see the challenge from Majowski again, but it looks like it was, at least reckless, if not dangerous. I don't think it was a red card, but it looked to me like certainly it was a foul. Again, we haven't seen it again. Looked like there was a similar challenge in the middle of the pitch that ended up in a yellow card. She's got every right to feel frustrated. It's probably more so the fact that they were always in this game and they deserved something from it. Rangers, limped over the line once again after a positive start. There's just very, very little about them, and whether that's the quality of player, I just don't think they have. There was no real energy, there was no real spark, there was no real pace to their game, and I think that's another thing that will frustrate David Martindale. Is I think there was a result here for them, and they just couldn't quite get it.
It finished at Ibrox this afternoon. Rangers 2, Livingston 1.